There we are. I Stream Deck did not want to switch on my music. I was afraid to start the show. How's everybody doing? Oh my God, it's a cold Tuesday in the middle of the winter, but we're pushing through. We're doing our thing. I've had a busy week already. It's only Tuesday. Drop me a note, everybody, how your week is doing. I'm gonna step into chat. I see all of you. Trying out vMix Social again. If you remember here from last week, giving that a shot. I kind of like it. I know Tommy use vMix. Do you use vMix Social at all? I'm not sure what you're using anymore, but I see some people here. I want to say hi to everybody. You guys are lovely to stop by, and as always, thank you to you creatures of YouTube for coming out here and say hi. I'm going to bring up my really dear friend John here in a few, and of course talk to him. And I see already back 4 hours ago. We hit some people. I said Darren, he was commenting here. Apologize for that. On Brian, I just want to hit this because Brian Griffin had dropped one of the first notes about copyright claims. We're going to get into that for a second. I have my own little journey on this copyright thing, and I've had a little bit of a battle with it. I want to ask everybody here what your experiences have been, what you've done with it. We'll get into that in a little bit. But Brian, thank you. Brian says, yes, I got those copyright claims against me as well. Those things are terrible. I played Quiet Rights, mental health song, and got a claim. Yeah, I mean, terrible. I guess it's relative terrible, right? But I've gotten a couple of them, and it really is annoying, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And hi, Dimebag Darren. How you doing, sir? Thanks for dropping in. I imagine your winter is treating you well, sir. When you're not monetized and it's not a strike, then it's a non-starter. There's a lot to discuss here. Oh, look who's here. Oh, my goodness. Check this out. It's Amy. Everybody say hi to Amy. Looks like you guys already did. Amy, how you doing? Thank you for jumping in and seeing what the heck's going on down here. And Abel, how's your world going? How's 2022 treating you? You ended 2021 so strong, and just curious how you feel you got out of the gate in 2022. Let me know about that. I feel like I got out pretty well. Got some weird things going on, but boy, I got a lot going on, and excited about some things, and we're going to touch on some things when we bring out John here in a second. And before we do that, I just want to say hi to Tommy. Tommy, I know you've got a show coming up. You're probably preparing for that, and you were kind enough to come in and say hi to everybody. And I hope you're doing well. And tonight I am on my 320, and I'll discuss that also in a second. That wasn't planned. And let me just talk to Gigi first. Been a while, Giga Art. How you doing? Nice to see you. Thanks for the hearts and the hellos. We really do appreciate that. And same with you, Bouget Prepper. Great to see you. I hope you're doing well. How's the prepping going? How are you doing? It's great to see everybody, seriously. And let me get caught up. It's interesting how vMix Social does this, actually. It's kind of reversed in our descending order, so I have to be careful. Before I head into too much, I am going to bring out my friend John here. Let's get caught up with him. Last time we checked on John, he was under the weather. He's struggling like a lot of people right now, just trying to keep it together. But of course, you know, John, he's a strong dude. So here he is, as he always is. So I'm gonna bring out John, see if he's prepared for this. John, how you doing, sir?
Hi, guys. How's everybody doing?
I love that you got your 320. How you doing? You got your 320 as well, and we're both rocking the 320. We haven't done it in almost 2 months, right?
Yeah, it was nice. I was excited to break it out, and
you've been talking.
Hopefully, when I listen back, it's the way I want it to sound, because I made some mistakes along the way, and I made some corrections. So hopefully, the corrections are coming through.
And I knew you were intentional about that, because you've been talking about, I like my 320. I want to get back to it. I was really happy with the no space mic and not bumping into it, which you're going to find tonight is going to happen. I didn't plan on this, to be honest with you. What happened? I did not plan on this. So as all good things happen, I'll get your chats here in a second. Thank you guys for stopping in. Let me pull this out quick. So, you know, it's not John's table, but you can see what I got going on here. I'm going to hit this thing because I'm a jittery, fidgety person. And one of the nice things about not having, having it out of shot was this, because I do this, I hit the table, I do all sorts of things that my parents used to yell at me for. And the other problem with this is I didn't plan on this issue, and the arm is right in front of my desktop here. So I've got kind of having to move around to see my Stream Deck, because I did not plan on this. I wasn't doing it. What had happened was the pencil mic that I've been using, my Shure, which I love, there must be a short in the wire. And all of a sudden it wasn't working. And I thought it was a cord. I thought it was the interface. I thought it was this and that. So after about an hour and a half of messing around, I figured out, oh, it's the mic. I didn't expect it to be the mic. Yeah. So we went with the 320. I'm sure that that information is much needed. But
what's that to the right of you in down there? That looks like a GoPro or something to the right.
Here or here? Here?
Yeah, that.
Here?
What's that?
No, it's just a battery charger for my Sony batteries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wish it was a GoPro. Might happen sooner
I
than
was
later.
like, what has he got there? Did he get something new he's not telling us about?
But I don't need to be messing around buying mics I already have, because that's a real bit of a bummer. Cashew, thank you so much for showing up. Everybody knows the platinum wrench of standards of Cashew is here, and we're always honored to have Cashew sitting here, setting the table. It means a lot to us. I see you were here hitting up the old crowd. Tommy, I'm always interested in what Tommy has to say about this. He's been around in this business a little bit. Being monetized has no bearing on a strike or claim. They are totally different things. It's true.
Yep.
It doesn't affect you getting monetized. It will affect you getting money for that video that has a claim on it. You will not get money for a video that has a claim on it. That money will go to the people who have the rightful claim ownership. But as Tommy says, and it does get confusing for some, that it will not, and I will show that. I'm going to go through a really quick, visual overview of what I went through just to show you, because I did have some success this week on this issue. Yeah, you can still get monetized. People do freak out, but I mean, it wasn't that long ago though. YouTube was a little bit weird about it, and people were like, "Oh, I got a claim," and then they've done a better job of at least trying to be more reasonable about these things and create a better way of, I guess, fighting, because it used to be like fighting the government or the IRS with the claim. You were not going to get much traction on that. And it was a little bit frustrating. What is this? What is Vinny saying here? Hey, Jeff, a plateau is the highest form of flattery. Okay. What's he saying?
Plateau is flat on top. It's a hill, but it's flat on top.
Oh, it's one of his jokes.
It's
his dad joke.
Yeah.
This is a problem, Vinny throws me because I read these questions, and then Vinny comes in. I should know by now Vinny's going to do something like this, right? Like drop a pun. And the fact that I've still not caught up on it really speaks more to me. Patrick, how you doing?
What is this?
How you doing? It's good to see you doing well.
Hey, Patrick.
Love what you're doing. And I've enjoyed some of your Notion videos. I really like what you're doing. Thank you for, I want to change back to us actually real quick. There we go.
I want to thank everybody that again has reached out to me this week and said hello. So we did a couple of streams, and Jeff and I were actually on Steve Worthy's stream the other day.
Oh yeah.
And here's the thing, I get these little bouts of energy, especially I took Advil right before that stream.
Yeah.
But taking Advil every day is not a great thing on your stomach. And I have just been, I've been run down. I've definitely been run down. So I'm more shocked that this past week I've been as tired as I have been. So it's been really surprising. So after going through the week of the whole family having, the COVID and then coming out of it, I've been the one my wife's been tired, but I'm a little older than her. I've been really fatigued, and that's been the hard thing. And I hear a lot of people saying it.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate everyone that's checked up on me. Brian reached out to me today. Aaron reached out a couple times, a few other people. So I'm thankful. And I love the fact that you guys checked up on me several times. Todd was another person too. And
yeah, Ken, I was just getting ready to send him up because he said hello with a couple of trees. And there's somebody who also battled some end of the year, frustratingly, some end of the year things, because that's him and Santa. That's the big time of year. And so
right when he was busy, when he was busy.
Is he talking to us here? What is this? I didn't plan on this.
I think, he always says that we didn't plan this. And then all of a sudden we come in and our colors are the same, or the mic that we're using, and
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
we didn't talk about it.
we
But,
did not. We did not. And I wouldn't have used this had my mic not gone down.
right.
But you know, they talk about how owners look the same as their pets after a while. So maybe like co-host end up looking and sounding
No,
and doing. No, okay.
has nothing to do with no way.
That was a hard no by
Uh,
John, man. He wasn't even like
hey,
holding back.
Tommy.
That's
And
really,
Trash Can Waves is here too.
I know.
So
I'm
no,
just gonna
brother.
jump up. I'm gonna jump up.
I'm just saying hi because
Yeah, you could
people
go for it.
popping
Yeah,
in. It's
I
nice to see
know.
them.
Because Gigart did say I have a claim in my channel when I sang True Colors. That will do it. You sing it, they will get you.
Yeah.
I'm not removing it because I really
Yeah.
like how I sang it. Yeah, I mean it's a decision on what you.
No, you know,
will,
though,
you know, sometimes it's okay. Who cares?
don't remove it though, but you
There's
can
ways
just
to do it.
drop a little, little
But she
way to
liked,
deal with it and just get it off of there anyway. What the
but
heck?
she likes how it
Because it's good
sounds. So then
practice
she
too.
doesn't want to get rid of it. You know, so she
No,
probably
I
likes
didn't
how.
get rid of my stuff.
Oh,
You know,
okay,
I fought it.
okay. Hey Ken, how you doing? I saw that
There's the glitch.
you and your best supporter.
Dang.
Yeah, I saw that. You and your best supporter were doing was it episode 15 from O'Ken? Saw that was happening, and
Yeah.
I really
Him and
like
his
their
wife, I
content.
saw.
Trash Can, how you doing, sir? Thank you for stepping in. Salute to you, and I hope you're well. I'm just checking in on a lot of you. This has been a really it's hard to believe. I know we say this all the time, but we're almost at the third week of January already. But I felt like we were
I can't
fired out of a
believe it.
cannon. And I'm sure with you, with being sick, and I don't know if anybody else is battling that right now. Good Lord, man. Yeah, it's funny. I thought I had more time, and it just feels like January is going to end on me. But you know, that's a sign of being busy. Busy. What are you going to do? Oh well, you know, I'm sorry about the Bruins, Don. I'm glad you stopped in to say hi, man. I love that.
Hi,
I know
Don.
you're such a huge Bruins fan, and I don't know if you're a Patriots fan. I'm just going to assume you were, and I just want to say I rest in peace. Sorry for that. That may happen to my team this weekend as well. What does it say, John? John, that light looks like the James Webb Telescope's kit.
I have no idea what that is.
I don't know what that is. What is a James Webb? We need to go back to school. I don't know what that is. Yeah, she is awesome with that stuff, and I love that you both work so well together and you support it. You can see it. I love that when people support each other like that. We all feel we're best when we are supported by that and doing our things. And this is not an easy thing for us to do. All of us, we're so many of us that are here, and then you know, a lot of you that are here who support. But there are a lot of creators. I'm looking down this list, and just about everybody here is a creator, you know, barring a couple people. And I can tell you,
Exactly.
so many are working so hard already at the beginning of the year. They were really grinding at the beginning of the year. And, you know, we all want to stay not burnt out. We all want to improve and augment. That's human nature. And it's the same with what we're doing here. And there are times when you have to sort of figure out, right? We stop and we assess and we say, where are we at with all this stuff? And sometimes when you stop and you were forced to pause, you really didn't realize that things were not what you thought they were. They could be better. They could be worse. Dr. Elo, how you doing? Thank you for stopping in.
Hey,
I really
Elo.
do appreciate that.
Tracy.
Let me know what you're up to these days. Tracy Parks, how are things? What did I miss? Nothing got tossed. Pretty good mood other than...
Wait, did Tracy change her avatar picture?
Yeah, she did. She went all model on us. Look at that. Look at that
Yeah,
picture.
I noticed
very
that.
well. It's gorgeous.
Noticed that.
So my mic broke, and I didn't cry or anything. I didn't throw anything. We'll get that fixed. But I'm down to this
shed a
mic.
tear for
I didn't shed a
me.
tear. I shed a little tear because the last thing I want to do is spend another $300 on a mic that we already bought when I have other things I need. Has anybody else had that happen?
Plus, it was
in the
your end mic.
It's my end game mic. Is that what you said?
Yeah, like it just really fit you. So
I love the mic, and I'll make sure to have that mic, but there's a short in it, and that's always a downer. And let me, there's a lot of content creators here who I know are some of you are starting out or young or getting moving, and let me know. I am curious. Like I get so irritated when I have to stop out of nowhere and invest in something that I just bought recently. So a mic, or in the case of this weekend, a basement freezer, a dryer, and a flat tire, which all happened on Sunday one time.
crazy.
Yeah, that was not my best day. But I can deal with that, but I can't deal with my equipment going because I can't stand the fact of losing equipment and having to go back and reinvest in something like that when I have so many cool things I want to get into. So it's kind of a downer.
Right.
Right. What is this? We are testing. Tommy says we are testing filters to bring in the under 50 crowd. I got it. Just do the Vaseline.
That's exactly why.
Yeah.
It's exactly why Jeff and I do the Halloween streams with the filters. And
I think I agree. You may see Jordy the Elf jump in here quite a bit.
Yeah, like in June. In June.
He may be in here in June trying to swing that 24 to 35 crowd. And I feel you. Aging is not the most fun, but Tracy pulled it off though. She's got that going. So I wouldn't know. I'm looking at that. I'm like, yeah, she's 28. You got that going on. TH2, how you doing? What's your life about? Hello, Cashew.
Hello.
Good to see you. They are friends. They know each other, and they are some peers. I think they're like the Thelma and Louise of moderators. That's probably not a great sign to have moderators inside here who are considering themselves Thelma and Louise. I just want to say, like, I'm noticing because I have vMix Social going on, which was the vMix vibe, and I did pull up the normal YouTube chat.
Yeah.
But I am noticing that the vMix Social is much quicker than my normal chat through YouTube. And so that's interesting. Now, maybe I shouldn't be surprised, and maybe that doesn't matter. One of the other interesting aspects of this, where the YouTube descends, so at the bottom we have the newest, right? Where on vMix Social, the top is the newest, and it keeps pushing the older ones down. So it takes a second to kind of get your mind wrapped around that. But it does such a good job of letting you know how many seconds ago you all are posting. So I'm just trying to keep a lid on that, see that. I wanted to catch up enough to see if I could once in a while stay on top of how quick we can be. You know what I mean? So I know you're a dude. Look. I call myself a sister all the time. I know you're a dude. I'm just saying you could still be Thelma and Louise. Okay, so be Thelma and Louis. If that make you feel better, you could be.
Yeah, he's not happy about that.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what you do? You file. He's
the Brad Pitt in the back seat.
I know he's the Brad Pitt in the trunk. You know what? TH2, you're mad. I get it. YouTube probably has a form for you to file about your grievance, and go ahead, slap me down, give me a strike for insulting you. I know you have good humor. I'm not worried about it.
I do.
So Christmas Clatter. Todd says, having independent artists on is tricky. I play small pieces of their songs so the viewers can hear it. We are talking about, however, so yeah. I mean, they could give you clearance. I don't really know how long that takes though. Or they could follow up, and when you file the claim, then they can immediately say, "Yeah, he's cool," or they can whitelist you because that can be done too. So there are ways to upfront that, I suppose. It's a great point, and I will look into that because I do have some singer-songwriters I do want to have discussions with actually here, and by spring, and I'll be playing their music. I'm going to run into the same problem, so I'm going to take a look at that and see what I can find out. But I'm sure somebody in here will give me all a heads up on that issue. So yeah. Do I use low latency when scheduling? You know what? Probably that's a good point. In the YouTube settings, I did not change anything, so it probably doesn't say low latency, but I'll check on that, Tommy. It's a good point. It's not that far behind.
Mine's always low latency, and then I don't do ultra. I just keep it low.
I feel like mine's at low because you and I compared and we were in sync. I thought we
talked about,
So I'm pretty sure it's low latency on mine. I do think vMix has a quicker layering system. YouTube servers are just way pounded. So I just think there's going to be a natural quickness to vMix. It's not enough to be a deal breaker. It's just something I noticed out of the side of my head. Yeah, I think Brad Pitt fits just fine. You're going to be fine. Did we make up for it? We're good.
No, he likes Chris Farley, which, I think that's a good.
I love Chris Farley. Chris Farley went to Marquette, which is about 12 minutes from here. And
we just watched Tommy Boy the other night.
Fun movie. It's kind of ageless.
My son loved it. My son
losing
loved
Chris
it.
Farley.
He had to
was really
cover his
tough.
eyes.
Oh yeah,
one
yeah,
time,
yeah. There's a couple
but
moments
just
in
once.
there. You got to cover. I always forget. Like there's some people that have to cover kids' eyes in that movie. So Ken on the claim front, and I'm interested in this, and I'll get into my situation, and you guys can guide me a little bit. I'll be looking for some advice. I had a claim when the artist was on screen with me. He got the email for my
Yeah.
second appeal and had to approve the monetization after.
Yeah,
So
because it's not the artist.
yeah.
It's the
So
record company or
what I'm
the
seeing is some of
whatever.
these messages are getting cut off. So I'm going to need to extend the amount of characters apparently that are being allowed through my vMix social, and I will do that. You know what? I can do it right here. I don't know if I can do it right here. I have the thing to do. I have the power to do it right here. My only
I
problem is
have the power.
I don't. I don't want to mess around and try to hit save and go and
Then
do
all of a
stuff.
sudden,
And all of a sudden, it's
it's
like,
gone.
well, it's been nice seeing y'all. Let's get out of here, you know. Uh,
We can't pull anybody's messages up anymore.
right. I'm not doing it. But I saw a couple, like I probably cut off Todd's. He had an extended and saw, 200 characters. Yeah, I'm going to, exactly what I did is I typed in 200. It's at 140 right now. And so I'll push it to 200. But somebody put in well, Tommy did. I think we're good. I think it changed it to 200. There we go. So even though the artist can say yes, they may not even be able to give those rights. Publisher, record, never know who is it. Well,
Exactly.
Tommy's not wrong, because as an artist, even independent artist, you don't really always own your own music. For example, there is a label or publisher distributor. Now that's what I'm running into. It's distribution between the middlemen of my independents and Sonata Media. But that, you know what, while we're here, why don't I show what I've been dealing with really quick before we get into another topic, if that's okay with you, John.
Sure.
And then John, you have some thoughts on the subject, so go ahead. And so what I want people to do is bear with me. If you have thoughts on this, jump in. Everybody has a different experience or thought. I put some links in the description here. I'm using at least 3 different music sites or media sites. Some people are saying, well, why are you spending so much money? I got some really good deals on Sonata and Slip.Stream, and Epidemic is what it is. I like Epidemic, and I'm not here to, it's a different type of tool for me. I don't like their vocal music. I like their instrumentals. I think it's really good background music. I think it's really good bumper music, and special effects are really solid. I don't really like their songwriter songs so much. The library to me is wanting, and it's a little repetitive right now. But they're a great company, and I think they probably get struck or claimed less than anybody from what I can see. And so I'll keep them. I'm not going to not keep them. The other company that I like is Sonata Media, and not all these companies are the same. Sonata doesn't do as much of the effects and really the background music. They really are more about the singer-songwriter, independent artist who wants to get real music out there. And this is like a side hustle for them in a way, and just to get brand awareness. I like it. And what I find is more originality, more depth of music. The library is better. A lot of the music I play here, like tonight, I found on Sonata. I just like that. And I like supporting them. However, it's coming at a cost, because I've been hit now with no less than 4 or 5 different live videos with that company. And I have talked to them several times. They've been very accommodating. They've brought up this at their meetings. They're confused at why I'm having so much bad luck. They agree it's happening, and they're trying to do their best. But you know what I mean? It's like, that's all great. But at the end of the day, I still have videos who are not cleaned up. Anyway, so what happened is I didn't take a look recently. I'm going to share my desktop and we'll get this rocking and rolling. But let's see here. Let's go here. See you, John. See you, Tommy. Thank you so much, bro. So the first thing you'll notice often, if you've gone through this, if you haven't gone through it, and this is probably a little hard to see, all I'm trying to show you here is look at back all the way to June, back here, June 4th of 2021, June, July. And then this was actually a couple of days ago, some stuff that I've been doing. Different copy strikes I've had, all related to Sonata. And so this has been going around since John and I started streaming. For the most part, we've been talking about it. So this is what, you run into. I think here, Whoops. Sorry. Battling. Okay. Well, I let that go. That's weird. Okay. I don't understand snip and stitch. But anyway, so then you'll see officially when you open up one of these, an official claim letter. And so some of you may have seen these. I'm just showing this for people who may have not seen this. It's a lot of fun. And so at first, when you don't know this and you're new, this scares you because you're thinking, I did something wrong. I broke the law and I'm going to jail. You know, that kind of deal. You don't really know the depth unless you're a little more. I wasn't really schooled on this. I know that copy strikes, 3 of those, you could absolutely be banned for life. Copyright claims are different, as I think Tommy was starting to point out. And then, all right, so what happened was, I'll go here. I'll give you one more look. I don't know why it wants to pull that up. Not important. This is something I'll dip into because I have it up right now. But when you go into look at that, this is the one that happened a couple of days ago. But it happened September. I didn't realize it until a couple of days ago. So I pulled it up, and you can see here this on behalf of Independent. This is another company of a distribution. So no name, Merlin. Okay, that's helpful. But a lot of these things are such fronts, and a lot of them are actually bogus, by the way. That's the other problem. So, okay, fine. We've got this issue going. I see it. And of course, as Tommy's saying, it's not going to affect your monetization. You're not really in trouble. You're fine. But it does mean you are not eligible to make money on this until it's cleaned up. So you make a decision, leave it. I don't really care about the lives getting monetized, but I think it's good practice to try to deal with these issues when it's not so important. And so you get conditioned.
I think that's the best point. Exactly.
Yeah, is to deal with it now just so you can have an idea how this may go down. So when it does happen to something you really care about, you're dealing with it. So in my channel, I pulled up live. And of course, for you that don't know, these are all the lives. And if you don't know, and many of you content creators know, you can then say, show me anything with copyright claims. Look at me. I got 3 here. And these go way back. And I fought these. I fought the first 2. They didn't win. I got 1 off of 2 songs. And a 3rd one, I haven't even put time into it yet. But, look, if you don't know, this is what you get to see. Ooh, what is this? I got a copyright claim. Fantastic. And then you do the details. And you go into that nonsense. And you can see I got 2 songs. These were the same songs. I kept using them, and all 3 these songs are the same ones in all those videos. And what they told me is that their distributors are being absolute nut jobs about this issue, and they can't figure out why they can't get any movement. They've never seen anything like this at Sonata. Great people. It's a UK company. Love the music, love the library. But this is a deal breaker for me as far as moving into my videos. I will never put them in my actual videos.
Right.
But, that's why I try things out to see how companies react. Yeah. I haven't had any problems with Slip.Stream either, by the way. So that's cool. But if you don't know, again, you can, John was alluding, there are options. You can go ahead and trim out a segment. You can replace the song. You can mute the song. There are pros and cons to all that. I don't think it's worth it personally, but I went with the appeal. And if you've done this process, you probably won't read this, even though you should, but there's no way to get to continue unless you read it. I'm not going to put all that information in there and show you where I live and all that nonsense. But what it would look like if you get past that personal form, then the last stage would be, what is the dispute? And I just put in, hey, I have a license with Sonata Media for use of this media. That's all I did. I didn't sit there and get wordy with them. And you got to check these boxes, put your signature in, and hit submit. And that's what I did. For the September video, I would say within an hour, I got this. Great news. After reviewing your dispute, Merlin Audio Salad decided to release your copyright claim, and they freed me up. So that video is now not under that restriction. So why am I showing it? Merlin. He's a magician. Now either Merlin's...
Thanks. He's yeah.
He
brought the magic.
He brought the magic. Why am I bringing that up? I mean, well, it's because it's what I'm working on a little bit. And I for some people that have been through it, that, they're like, I've been through it. And that's true. But I always, there's different stories to this. I am curious if anybody's had epidemic hit them. I know some people have. I would be curious to find out how that worked out. Did they get that resolved? I'll jump into chat here and see about crapping up here real quick.
Yeah, I've never had a problem
You've
with
never had
anything
one.
from
Okay.
Epidemic. And then here's the thing, though. I've used a free service called Ben Sound. I don't know if anyone's ever used it
Okay.
before. And and all they ask you is if you use any of the music that you put the Ben Sound, the web address in
Yeah.
the description. And I did that all the time, and I never had a problem with Ben Sound either. But I didn't want to move forward because it gets a little tricky with the music, right? Whereas
Yeah.
something could happen down the road. And the great thing with Epidemic is if something happens with one of these songs, or I don't know, something changes, you're pretty much covered down the road too. And so that was something I didn't want to battle against with anything else. So it seemed like it made sense to spend money on Epidemic.
Yeah, I think that's your safest bet. Tommy says, so even though the artist can say yes, they might not even have the ability to give those. Yeah, I read that earlier, and it's true, and that's what I ran into. And I think that's the kind of thing. Well, I'll just contact the artist. Well, so many artists, I can tell you, don't own their music rights. You know, either a label paid for their studio work and they still haven't paid off the bill, or they signed that away for a job shop payment where they got paid to do the deal and no residuals, and so they don't have any rights. They can sign that away. So it's like anything. It's not a one for all. Yeah, Vinny. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just pass on that. That's funny, but I'm never gonna. Yeah, Brian said he's never got a copyright dispute. That sucks. Yeah, I didn't. I was really like, oh, this is, and you know, when it happened the first 3 times, 3 videos, it really did weigh me down a bit. I'm like, I can't even get out of my first 3 streams without having everything claimed. What am I doing wrong? So I had to go revisit what I'm doing. I contact Sonata, go, what's happening? Am I doing something wrong with the license? I am. And they're like, no, you're good, man. We don't know. And then they got back to me. But again, it's great that they're getting back to me. It doesn't change my problem. And so, you know, at some point, as much as I love the music, I'm not going to continue going down on. And you know what? I thought of this too, Todd, in that there is Christmas music. And I saw Epidemic had some better songs this year. And I imagine it will get better. But you're right. It's light a little bit on it. I would almost say there's more Halloween music than Christmas music. I had no problem finding great like Halloween music from our Halloween stream.
I found a good amount of Christmas
this year.
music
I thought this year was
Epidemic.
much better. And in the other stream services, I found quite a bit too, but I had to look around. So, Darren. Yeah. So we're live and you're here. Man of very few words. Okay. Good to know, Ken. So Ken, who's been doing this a bit, yeah, I've never lost an appeal or had an epidemic claim. I didn't. Yeah, and that's funny. I don't feel like I lost my appeal because the company that I bought it from said I was in the right, but I'm still screwed on those claims because
it's just crazy.
You know what I mean? I still can't do anything. They pulled them out of rotation, which I thought was good as a way to try to get people to react. But come on, man. I mean, that's kind of unfair to me. Luckily, okay. Well, okay, let's talk about this. I don't know this. Luckily, they escrow any ad revenue during the appeal process. Okay, that makes sense to me. That if you, and that's probably why you want to be on top of it. You want to get that appeal in as quick as possible. Now, my appeal was done in 60 minutes, but a lot of people aren't going to be that responsive. And some, of course, are not even going to agree. So it depends on how long that appeal goes. But it's good to get on the appeal. That's a very good point. Get on it right away. Yeah, I think that's what you're saying here is good point, John. I have had claims on videos, but they had been up for months. Okay. So you have had claims. I thought you said you haven't. Maybe I misunderstood what you said. Okay. I don't know what that is. Oh, Taylor Swift in this story. Did they take it? That was a pretty complicated deal. I don't know that she was as a victim as she made it sound. She's going to be just fine. You know what happens a lot with artists, and hey, I've been in this end of it as a small independent artist I've done 8 albums as an independent. And even as independent, you have distribution, you have things going on. But the truth of it is, you know your deal. I know my deal, and she had a deal. You know, she's kind of a complainer. I'm not going to lie. She's going to be fine. She's a billionaire. She's going to be all right. But you know, people complain about that, but I don't think they understand how much money goes also into studio development, R&D, marketing, you know, all the stuff. When these artists are younger, they strike these deals because they have no idea, nothing. And then they get handled by all these skilled people and skilled songwriters. I know she writes some of her songs, but where it is, not really much of them. And so the truth of it is, there's a lot of money that's going out and taking a risk. And then they turn around and 10 years later and say, oh, why am I not getting more money? Well, you know, it's if you could do it 10 years ago, do it. You know, I mean, it's
right.
I mean, some of these people are bad dudes. I get it, but you know, complaining about that, I don't know.
Everybody wants their money in the end.
Everybody wants their money in the end, and then she becomes more powerful. I'm using Taylor. She's not the only one. There's men who do it, women who do it, bands who do it, and they become bigger than the label at some point. I get all that, and then they feel like, hey, you're ripping me off, and you know, but you signed the deal. And ask Tom Petty, A Life Can Be. Dude was locked out of his own like studio work. They kicked him out, and they wouldn't let him record, and he lost all sorts of tracks. It's a tough deal.
I think I saw Bruce Springsteen sold all his music this year.
Is that right? He sold the rights? Just sold the library?
Yeah, that's what I read, for like a ridiculous amount of money too.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. Usually the daughters are going to think Taylor Swift was wrong. I don't think Taylor Swift was that wrong, but you know, could be a Rorschach test if you really dig her music. And maybe I'm a little biased because I don't love her music, but I do respect her talent. From what I knew of the deal, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Ask Steve Smith of Journey. And their breakup.
Oh, yeah.
And what happened 2 years ago, and that nightmare about who owned Journey. Oh, that got ugly. And I was lucky enough to have a little insight to that with some friends who know Steve Smith. And oh boy, that's sad, honestly, how that whole thing disintegrated. Oh, I was a big Journey fan at one point, so that kind of bums me out. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah, I asked Paul McCartney about song ownership. Yeah, there was a little bit of thing with that, and Michael Jackson and everything that went on. And Michael Jackson was really upset with him, I think, right? No, Michael Jackson bought, I believe, McCartney's music.
Yeah, he bought the Beatles.
And
actually.
and McCartney wasn't there. Yeah, there was a
Beatles.
whole deal. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's so funny how people get so just greedy and like, you know, whether they're collecting or they just want, I don't know. It's like, that's the thing that really kind of churns me about the music industry and everything like that. More people, more problems thing. Yeah, would I love to have 4 Grammys? Be great. I know people who have Grammys, who've won Grammys for writing songs, and what they tell me and other people is like, it didn't really change my life. I still live in not the greatest house, and it doesn't really make me happy. It's like that old thing, like be careful what what you're trying to do. Is the journey your thing, or is the Grammy? Because a lot of people win Grammys, honestly. A lot of songwriters you never heard of, a lot of artists you never heard of.
Yep.
And they'll say the same thing in the end of the day. I really should pay more attention to the craft or how the people are hanging around with and touring with. And there's so many stories of that. Yeah, but you know what? The other day, on the other flip coin of that, if you want to give me a Grammy and a couple $100,000, I'd be happy with that too. So I'm not running from either of it. I'm just saying grass and greener and all that nonsense. Bob Dylan sold his songs last year. He had 400 million. Yeah, see, that's the thing. And people say, what is sellout? Remember that everybody always talks about the sellout factor. And my thing is sellout. Is there any one of us at some point in our lives I've enjoyed about as much as I can with this. What am I going to do with this? Especially the library ownership. Give me 400 million and maybe I'll take it and I'll invest it. For me, I would love to take 400 million, start a music school. I would do something with outreach. I really love the Ideas to Inspire campaign we did with schools for years. I think that would be awesome. And I'm not telling people they need to do these type of philanthropic type things, but that's something I would love to do. And I don't know, maybe Bob Dylan does that. I mean, he's kind of the man of every man's man in this thing. So, maybe he'll use his money for good, or maybe he'll just buy yachts. like what's his name from Genesis, who bought big yachts.
Oh, yeah.
You know, who's the drummer? I'm old. I can't remember people's names anymore.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he's not doing so well. Yeah. So Brian, I had a pilot music show on TV once upon a time. Greed and more people, more problems doomed it. Yeah, that's the age-old story about art. Starts out so well, or projects. And John, you and I have talked about this. It's going to segue into a topic we're going to get into in a minute. But you know, we actually had a discussion right early on. I'm not afraid to talk about it, where we met each other, we really respect each other, liked each other, and we had this idea about, hey, let's co-host 1-on-1. Let's do that. And anybody should be apprehensive about doing that, because you do give up a little bit of yourself, your time, your maybe a little bit of what you would have done otherwise for compromise. There's a little bit of a compromise, right? In setting up.
You have to. Yeah. When
right?
you work with somebody, it's absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Phil Collins, thank you. That was driving me crazy. And so, you know, you have to have that. And so quickly as things, and it's usually not, when things go really bad, that can be when people deteriorate and walk away. It's almost understandable. But what's frustrating is when things start to do well and people start to get a little bit weird with their ego and start like clawing. And usually at small numbers, it's like, oh, we're fighting over 10 subs. We're fighting over an hour of time. That kind of weird, or a little bit of attention. Oh, you were asked to be in an interview on a channel and I wasn't. Like, you know what I mean? It didn't happen with us. I'm just saying, I could see where that could really creep in really quickly. These dynamics are really difficult. Tom and Tracy, I know they're getting ready for a show, but I guarantee you they could jump in and really talk about that as well. I'm sure they have their moments of having that discussion, right? And we talked openly about it, right? I mean, how we want things to, how we like things, want to be open. We want to be honest and open. So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We know that any exit strategy or any pivoting would be done in a way that both people are served with a spirit of interest of we enjoy each other, love each other, and support each other, which we do. And so, you know, I think my point is, those are great dialogues to have up front. If you're an artist, it's even better to get it in black and white, obviously. It's a different animal. But in our case, our contract was our word. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I trusted you immensely with your word, and apparently you did with mine, and 80 streams later.
Yeah, we always said, like, if we were to do a website or something, then we'd get something in writing at that point.
That's right.
And just to keep things legit and everything. But I mean, once you're doing a stream, then who cares? Because whatever you want to do in that stream is your choice. It's your channel and it's your discussion, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And that if the other person didn't want to be there, then they wouldn't, point blank, right? So it's pretty easy to divide that up. But it's also just talking about when we talk about in the beginning with anybody that you surround yourself with, it's having like value systems or like ideas, or, you know, because the more you find out about people, sometimes you just start realizing like you don't mesh or you do mesh. How much do you want to invest in this?
You start peeling away onions and you're like, ooh, I didn't realize that you're next.
Which is normal.
It is normal.
Right.
And you're right. We actually did talk about that if we started getting into shared web spaces and things, we would actually put in very simple, because even simple is better than nothing, our intentions and what we want to do with that project. And that people will say, oh, that's uncomfortable. What's uncomfortable is not doing that. And then everybody trying to use their memory later on. And that's when it gets ugly. It's not good to do. And Tracy, you just hit on something that I try to tell people all the time. And this is good with life in general. Manage your expectations. And now there's an expectation of some accountability. In other words, if John says, I'm going to do something, or I say I'm going to do something, I have an expectation of him to do something, whatever. But managing expectations beyond this point, I so agree. Like we get so in trouble when we start setting these expectations and start shooting for the expectations, whether it's our own goals, really true, or with other people, especially. That gets you in trouble.
Yeah. I look at it from the opposite though. I don't look at it the same, because I just feel like no expectations helps the situation, but it doesn't when things start happening, right? Like expectations are decent, but really the way you guys deal with it together, whoever it is the most important expectation. But having no expectations on something good happening can get yourself into trouble, because then you just you can find yourself
Yeah.
in a situation where the other person's not comfortable, or they are.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, wait a second, we never talked about this.
Well, first I want to say, Steve,
Then
hola. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. First, hola, Steve. It's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I know you're working hard. And John, I want to say that's exactly right. There's different capsules of the expectations.
Why are you speaking to Steve in Spanish?
I did say hola, didn't I?
You just said hola? I'm going to say aloha.
I got the fever, like, and I'm dizzy. I have the 120 fever right now, and I can't. I'm hallucinating. I don't know what I was doing. What the hell, Steve? If you want to sub, that's okay, man. I just be kind.
Yeah, but my point is just that something can come of it. But see, the thing is, I feel like Tracy and Tommy are just real people. Yeah. They'll work it out, but you just never know, because egos can get in the way. Anything can get in the way where you never thought. It's kind of like when a parent passes away, and then the siblings that were great to each other their whole lives aren't, and just crazy things can happen. So you're better off like definitely doing something beforehand. That's why Jeff and we talked about things, and we always told each other, no matter what, where we were going to, go with things, we would let each other know, or we would have thoughts, and we talk about just
and I would imagine using Tommy and Tracy again, just knowing who they are, very direct communicators. There's something to be said for being direct and having a conversation, saying, I need you to be honest and direct with me. I don't need you to be mean. I just need you to be honest and direct along the way, so we don't build things up, and we'll deal with it together as a team as things come up. And we have done that over time ourselves. You can't, 6 hours minimum a week for 8 months, is a lot of time, not including the many, many hours of very tired working behind the scenes to set things up and work on things and plan and strategize.
About the same amount of time.
I would say another 6 hours
a lot
a
of
week.
Weeks we spent.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on the phone doing those things. Right. So, I'm sure it's a thing, and you'll find out really quick in that compressed amount of time whether or not it's really going to work for you. And John and I left kind of a door cracked, like, hey, if you need an escape pod, go for it. We never needed one. And I just working together has been nothing but a joy. We've never really had anything. We've always been like, yeah, okay, I get you. Maybe I didn't see it that way, but now I do. We always have a really good level conversation, and just being able to communicate and see in other people's eyes. And I think it's good to have.
I think our ideas are grander than what we're capable of time-wise, always, but we love to have grand ideas, because you have to have grand ideas. I think it's
John would
important.
Be mean and beat Jeff into submission. No, I know I look passive, but I grew up in a family. Many families are Marines, and I want to tell you right now, I'm not passive to a point where I let somebody take me, and I have my tricks.
Yeah,
but
he's actually discussed this with me when we were talking about these types of things. He's like, and Jeff said it from the beginning, because I outwardly said to Jeff, I am not usually a co-host type of person.
Right.
Like, I like doing my own thing from day one. I said that. So this is very awkward for me, actually. But Jeff said, that he was more natural in this position than being the main host a lot of times. So I think we were both learning different things.
Yes.
And it didn't harm us in any way. I feel like it helped us in a lot of different ways to develop a little bit of a personality to see both sides.
Yeah, because
this is a tricky thing. Live streaming is not easy. It's tricky.
Not. And you need a balance of empathy and compassion and ability to work with people. But you do need, as Tommy says too, and you do need a backbone. You do need to know where your line is in the sand and have your authenticity and be willing to stand up proudly for that. And so I think some people pick one or the other, and they dig into sometimes too much of the edges, but I think having a balance is good. And if I'm pushed on my situation, John has seen me get riled up, I can be pushed into that realm. I've worked on my patience over the last 15 years for different reasons. I was a very hot-headed, very impatient young Aries growing up, very loud and combative. And so I learned not to be that. But I really needed you, John, to kind of push me a little bit out of myself a little bit. And I took those traits on. I know you said you took some of my traits on. That's the beauty of that exchange, was that we kind of take some of that exchange of who we are and try to use that to our benefit.
Yeah.
Maybe if we're lacking a little bit.
I think it's learning from certain situations. That's all. Like being open to listening to things. Like I'll always be somewhat opinionated, but I also like to discuss the topics. So if someone has a different opinion, I always feel it's okay to discuss it. I am always open to that.
You are.
'Cause I think conversation is so important to learn.
Man, yeah, it's all about that. And you and I talk about, we love
conversation. This really explodes growth.
It just all about, it is the catalyst for outgrowth. That is absolutely true. I want to say hi to Bike Contest. And I'm not laughing because I'm like, I don't know who you are. I've never seen you in my stream anyway. I wanted to welcome you and thank you for showing up and saying hi and dropping the big old smile. It seems a few people here know you. And it's a new face. And, we are happy that you're here with John and I. And we do this little stream with John and I. And we're just, here in our living room. And I want to talk soft now. And so I see there's a lot of this going on. And just to kind of hit on this, apparently they think now we're related. And I can see that. We do look a lot alike. That's really funny. Todd, I'm thinking Jeff equals Andy Dufresne.
Dufresne?
I can't.
Dufresne, I think it is.
Maybe. Okay, we got a picture of this cat. Is this a good thing, or am I going to just have tears at night?
I don't know who it is. You know me. I don't know any type of actors.
Drop a link for everybody with a picture.
Unless they're 20 years old.
Cashew, so I can see who this is, and everybody can click the link.
I got a
see who this is.
By the way, I have a lead on a DBX 286S.
Why do you do this to me? From our conversation with Steve the other day.
Sorry.
You're such an ass.
I've been wanting one for a long time, so I've been looking.
John,
ever since that one got away in Pennsylvania.
I'm announcing in front of everybody. I am asking for a divorce. Damn it. That's what I want. I told you to go look for one for me. And here you now are acquiring something that I want to put with my Focusrite 18i20 because I have business to do. And here you go, and you find, as you do, I swear you could find a rainbow.
I haven't found one. It's taken me probably 6 or 7 months to find one that was in the same realm of the same price of what I lost, the one in Pennsylvania. So it's literally.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Andy from
That's funny because that's one of my favorite movies right there.
It's mine too.
Shawshank is one of my favorite movies.
All right, well,
Tim Robbins was awesome in that. Yeah, you're right.
I do like accounting. So that's when Andy realized streaming wasn't for him. What a great movie that was. Tim Robbins. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, fine. Got me going.
Darren. It's not the same thing.
Where'd you find this?
It's not the same quality.
Oh, he's looking at that relator right here. He's giving me this. I saw it. I passed over it, but no.
I know.
Stop, sir. Stir.
There's only in the revelator too. There's only there's 2 channels that you can route.
Thank you, Cashew.
I need more than that.
I would, however, want to say I would crawl
a couple towns away.
A lot of poop in a sewer if I had to get out a prison, but I wouldn't do it after burrito night. So, sorry. I don't know why.
How much do you think I paid? How much do you think I'm getting it for?
Okay. Used? Clearly?
Yes.
Used?
Yeah.
Oh God. If you got it for under 200, I'll probably end the stream and walk out.
Oh, way lower than that. Yeah. Way lower.
130, 140.
It's for a mic. and this is one channel right here. It's 120. Yeah.
Dang, that's a great deal. Even for a used one, that's a nice deal.
They
It's
can be found for that if you're patient.
all right. I'm
You
going
know, if
to.
you're patient.
Here's the thing, man. I can't have you doing this to me. Okay, you stole my mic. Now the mic that I had is broken. You've got the Ottava, which works, and now you've got
I
that.
got a lot of stuff.
I do too.
Don't try to keep up with me.
Oh, I can't keep.
I
up
got a
with you.
lot of
I
stuff.
can't keep up with you. Even sick, I can't keep
You
up
go
with you.
broke.
I would go just insane. I think Dimebag was guessing 150. So that's still a good deal. Yeah, I'm not doing the Taco Tuesday. That's the DBX is one channel. Yeah, it's fine. You only need one channel. Not a problem. So is the Scarlett, Solo or whatever. So is my XLR. So is my Gold XLR. But I haven't shown everybody my new 18i20 is in the rack with all my other equipment. So I got 8 channels of goodness for my drums and or what other stuff we want to do. Gonna make it happen.
Nice.
Good question here. What is the thing you guys are buying? Do I need one too? Always. Always. I will tell you in a second.
Need one,
hang on to that thought real quick. And if anybody's buying anything new, let us know. Jay Smith, how did the mic get broken? Here's the thing. Do not know. The mic's been working just great. I don't move it around. It stays up in the, the old catch up here. I did do a remote recording. I recorded an author doing a video for his YouTube channel and his website for a really cool book, actually. And I'll do a stream on that at some point because that was a lot of fun, and I did some background footage on that. But I'm trying to do that. So somewhere between taking that mic down to the studio for the recording and bringing it back and plugging it in twice, we've developed, I think what would happen is we got a loose connection. So we're going to have to open it up and check those connections. It's probably solder or something. I think it's just a loose wire. I don't think it's a death of the mic. It still works, but there's some wonkiness to it. It feels like it's short. So, and we can't move on before we say hey to our good and dear friend.
Yeah, it's just
Darlene.
one of the XLR connections. That's all.
It's just an XLR connection.
Hi, Darlene.
It's going to be fine. But thank you guys for caring about me as John acquires more gear that I am behind on. Oh, okay. So it's definitely better than the Gold XLR. Okay. All right. It might be. I haven't compared them, but I would imagine it depends on what you're using it for. If we're solo streaming, the Gold XLR beats you out for a lot of other reasons. As sound quality, perhaps the Revelator. I mean, that Midas preamp is pretty good, punching out 72 dBs. That's still a pretty clean amp in that Gold XLR. Those are not bad amps. So I don't know what the Rev is using, but I'm sure someone's done a comparison. We'll look it up and see. He's challenging me.
Oh, I have.
You have? You've looked it up? You probably did some comparisons, yeah. I did a comparison on the Focusrite 18i20 because everybody's like, no, use the PreSonus. What is it? The 1824C is in comparison. I just don't like the PreSonus software. And quite honestly, I've had enough of their stuff. I have one right now, the FP10 8-channel that I'm replacing. It's garbage. Okay, so it's like, I don't know. I'm sure some of their stuff is good, but I'm not dipping into it. I'm just not doing it.
It's not known to be great stuff. I mean,
it's not known to be great stuff. And so the reason that we're kind of getting into this is because John and I are going to be announcing some things, and we're just kind of explaining and expressing, where we're at, and having a conversation and the dialogue around it. It's not that earth-shattering, but we want to talk about it, right, John? So, John, do you just want to lay out the main point of what we're getting to before we kind of continue on with the nuances and context of it all?
Oh, just on Thursdays, we're not going to be streaming anymore together. And we're going to be streaming together on Tuesdays, just like we are right now together. Mm-hmm. So Thursdays is something that I'm not going to be doing right now. I've been looking at this more and more, and I talk to everyone here. And my advice is always to follow what is going to help your channel grow and do the things that are going to help your channel grow. And you got to constantly look at those types of things. And so, streaming and spending a lot of time learning how to stream and setting up the stream and streaming in general has helped me cross the line in many aspects and make a lot of friendships. And I'm not going to stop streaming by any means.
No.
But it's also about me having more time and more energy to put into doing videos. Because, as much as I hate to say it, and it's harder for me to make videos, I need to make more videos to grow. And we tell people this kind of information all the time, which is you need to stream and you need to make videos also to get the proper growth. And so I am going to spend some more time on doing some of my videos and getting better at them. And then also I'll be doing some more single streams by myself, or you might see me pop up on a Saturday with JA and just say, "Hey, do you want to have morning coffee?" and grab Brian and Aaron and maybe maybe Patrick or maybe Darren or whoever wants to come on sometimes and just have a chat, and and stream. But I want to get back to being a little bit of hitting up different times of when I do stream to meet more people and to open that streaming space up and to touch more people out there. And listen, the truth of the matter is getting better at your videos is not easy, and it takes time to sit there and work as hard as we do with streaming to better. And I feel like here's the thing: look how small my channel is, guys, and to have 20 or 25 people show up in a stream is unbelievable for such a small channel.
It really is.
And then, but to really get the growth Jeff and I need, we also need to take the time for both of us to spend more energy and time on making the videos that are going to be there, that are going to get the watch hours and the subscribers and the growth. And then if you keep on streaming and jump on here and there, that'll all just turn into itself, and it will all grow, pretty organic, because people who subscribe to your channel, who like your content, and then see you stream, ask questions revolving around your content, it just becomes the way I like to operate and do my types of things. So
Yeah,
it's hard. Yeah, Brian, it's hard to follow your own advice, because the minute that I was thinking
really
about
is.
it, I was like, I don't want Jeff to be upset. I don't want people to think that I'm bailing on the streaming. I think it's just about really is taking a look and seeing where I need my growth. And it's easy to stay in a comfortable spot,
Well,
and it's much harder
always more easy
to push yourself.
John, we've been talking as we go. This is not something that was just done overnight. And then we had a really good conversation over the weekend where we kind of took everything and amalgamated and said, okay, here's the thing. And we both actually came to the same conclusion. It is not even just for John's benefit, although I think it's a really good benefit at this time. Like, you've reached the moment where I think we've talked about this. You got to sort of take emotion out of it, because we both look forward to Tuesdays and Thursdays so much. We just love hanging with each other and everybody. It's a tough thing to walk away from. We built something really fun and nice, and we don't take it for granted, right? That's not an easy thing. Special. Yeah. And so we had to really look at that. But emotions aside, we both have reached a point where, because we're so new, we realize we need to there is not much time during the week when you stream this intense twice a week and put this many hours in. And so we really need to, for different reasons, you need to focus on your videos as you augment and find your way after monetization. And I need to brand out myself a little bit more and spend the time now. And I benefited from this path. Like, some people are like, oh, you should have done the videos first. I personally benefited from this because of the people I met. I talked to you about this recently, whether it's Brian or you or Cashy with community and other people who are really good at what they do. I got a master's degree clinic from people who are so talented on subjects that I wasn't that talented on. So that really sped me up. So I really feel like I don't have any regrets on that.
Oh yeah, it was a win situation.
But I haven't touched.
Win situation for you.
It is, but the truth of it is, people really don't know what my channel is supposed to be about. And because it's really hard to convey when you're so busy doing this and developing this and learning this, as well as just getting the tools together. And I have thoughts, and my channel is going to be different than John. It's going to be more, again, yes, productivity, but it is going to get into the music. It's going to be about my quest. And I'll get into all that. It doesn't have to be done here. It's really more about what's happening, how excited we are, and why we both feel like this is going to be better for us, the Tuesday nights, and reaching out, because I like you're going to do some pop-up streams that are solos, and then we'll do some things with each other with coffee or with the other people. But I'm going to be doing
Yes.
pop-ups. I need space and time to put my mind towards a pop-up or two during the day for my particular topics that I need to get out there. And so it's just a perfect time for this to go, and then we're going to keep building
Yeah.
onto something, but we're going to be better if we get
It's an
our
evolution.
channels in order. You're right. But I think it's good to stop, and
Yeah.
it's good to stop and assess and have a discussion and be honest. And it's not easy to have these discussions and say, hey, what do you think? At the end of the day,
It wasn't really that difficult for me because I knew what I needed to do, but it's almost like you know how you kind of say to yourself, like, am I quitting? Am I like just ending in the middle of things? But you have to realize that everybody doesn't
thank you,
have
James.
the same amount of time, the same type of family dynamic,
Right.
doesn't have the same type of jobs. So all these things come into play. And plus, I say it, and like Brian says, it's like, gotta follow my advice. I gotta go and walk the walk and talk the talk. And if I'm
Right.
telling you, like, this is what I need for my growth, and I just don't wanna stop here and, you know, at 1,000, 2,000. If I'm gonna put this effort into this YouTube, and it's the money that I've put in and the time and the efforts of making the connections with the
Yeah.
people, I got to really make a go for it. And so that's what I'm just trying to do and evaluating this. So it's not like I sat down and talked to anybody or like, this is what I wanted to do. And and moving forward, I think I'm kind of excited about it though, because I just think that it gives us a little bit of a refresh. And then plus you still get to have both of us on a Tuesday, which
Yeah.
is great. And then if people want to drop in, ask questions, say hello, or do whatever, they're welcome to do that, just like
Yep.
they've always done about some
Absolutely.
tech stuff and
Mm-hmm.
everything.
We're
But
here. Yep.
I think
We're breaking
it'll
up.
be so fun to have like a Saturday where we just like get up and say, hey, you know, on Friday we'll talk, and like, let's get up and do stream like we did with
Thank you,
Brian and Aaron that one morning on a Saturday, and just talk about the things that we have been battling and the things we're working on. Because that's kind of interesting for people. Like,
it is. Darren,
what
thank you
what
for
have
that
you
love,
been
by the way.
doing? You know?
Right. Yeah. What have you been doing?
Thank you.
Darren, thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate you and
Thanks,
always so
Darren.
supportive. It means a lot. It is hard to follow your own advice on these type of things. And we all get into points where, whether it's a business or YouTube or whatever, or life or relationships, we have to evaluate. And this isn't as dire as that. It's just that, you know, there are people have, again, getting back to Tracy, talking about expectations. What were those expectations? And then you have to deal with the other person, and there's an extraction to that. You know what I mean? You have to figure that out. It changes my life too. In this case, when John told me, I'm like, oh, a kind of a bummer, but it's the right thing. Like it energizes me too, because I'm really looking forward now, as I've planned myself out, to dig into my brand and my channel and what I want to do. And John and I want us to, and all of you, we want us to all to dig into our channels and really grow them and get that outgrowth. So when we do join up and we have these things, we know more. We're just that more beyond where we were. It's a little hard right now to augment the product.
Yeah, and
At this
plus the other
stage.
thing was we were, you know, how can you not have a ton of a majority of the same people showing up
Thank you,
on
Ken.
Tuesday and Thursday? And so didn't want to get super repetitive, but also want to thank everyone, because you all are the main reason where I got to where I got this past year, you know, and the
That's true,
support
yeah.
has been fantastic for both of us. And, you know, it's another evolution of where we're going to take everything together, and plus be here for each other. So
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
main
Yep.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
Jeff
No
could
bigger
look at it like, oh, this is, what am I going to do with Thursday? But now it's like the first thing he thought, like when I told him, is like, well, this gives me a chance to work a little bit more on some videos too. And he's like, well, see, this is exactly how you need to look at things, is like,
Yeah.
you got to look at the growth for what it is, and utilize the time and see how valuable it is for him. Because I think Jeff he needs to get out there and start doing more of his own streams, and he knows that. And he's actually, I think next week is going to be one of your first things you're doing right, out there by yourself. So it's like you're there, you're ready. Like you've spent the time and the efforts, and
We'll see.
and I have too.
We'll see. But the truth of it is that we're kind of landlocked here. It's with the way the resources of time are and the obligations, we are kind of landlocked as far as trying to augment the channel or our ability to make videos and do these higher level things. And in my case, really build my channel in that area. So this does allow me to do that. Jim's asked, Jeff, are you going to include music in your channel playing and how you record it? Yeah, definitely on some level. I mean, yes, the quest. I'm going to, at some point I'll be a little bit more explicit about my quest, and of course my channel is built on the old adage of, creativity is curiosity in action. And with me, that's what I'm about. I love questing. My whole life is built around that. You don't do llama farms and flower shops and music and weird stuff if you don't seek a certain weirdness of wonderment. And so, yeah, it's going to be about music and the tools that I'm using at that moment on my quest. I have a lot of knowledge into web development and those type of things, and email marketing, productivity, apps, gear, tech, but also music. Music's a big thing, and some lifestyle things. And when it comes to the mindsets, and so I want to get into those things as well. So I'll probably be in that realm. I'm an Ali Abdaal type of guy. That's exactly where I fit. If you don't know who Ali Abdaal is, that's someone who influenced me a year ago in this trajectory. And a year later, I realized that's where I need to be wholeheartedly. And that's going to make John and I, when we get together, I think a really lot of fun, because once I dig more and more into that, we're just going to have a lot more of that depth. I'll catch up here. I know I'm behind. Jim says, being more spontaneous on when you do a live stream. I will be. I know John too. We both will be in ways. Tuesday will be fixed, but I want to do 2 short ones a week if possible on some particular subjects that I'm working on for, like recorded videos, or just want to get some knowledge on. I want to bring that out. And John, you'll be doing the same thing, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, and this is like Todd is saying, so then Thursdays is open. Like, I never look at it like that. You guys all gotta make sure you stream when you stream. Don't always. No one holds that time slot for anybody. You got to do what's best for you, because like my people aren't going to always find your people, and my people aren't going to, your people might not be perfect for me. You got to worry about just who, the message you're getting across, the connections you're making, and just worry about you doing when you need what to do to stream. That's
Right.
That's just important. Don't get hung up on that. And listen, is it maybe would I say, listen, don't take this as me stepping on your toes, streaming at the same time? I might say to somebody, but this is you got to work around your life schedule. And so no one should look at it like, a slap in the face or anything like that.
So do you remember the movie Kramer versus Kramer?
Yeah.
I think Don feels like he's fallen back into the Kramer versus Kramer as a child, and he's worried about the parents splitting up, and he's not sure which house he's going to live in, what holidays, where he's going to spend time, and we're going to have to have a judge pick. Cashew can be the judge if it comes to that, but we'll share you. Don't you worry. We're not splitting up. Don't worry about that. We're just taking one less day. Not a big deal. There'll be more of us in some ways, honestly, and it'll be
What's
better
up,
version.
Jay Cruz?
They'll be better saying, Jay Cruz, how you doing? Good to see you. What are you up to, sir? John and I are just, kicking back, doing some business here on Tuesday night, making it happen. I'm talking about copyright claims. Yeah. If you didn't hear about that, but yeah, it's not a divorce. We're going to be fine. I like this one. Who would you rather live with? Wow, that one stung a little bit. Depends on what you're trying to get done. I think, you know what I mean? It's going to be 2 different things.
Right.
There's pros and cons.
Like if you want to have fun, you would want to live with me.
Is that right? Is that what you're saying to everybody?
Well, probably.
You are fun. But I mean, the problem with you being, you are fun, but here's the problem. You're going to be the guy who's like, but I'm picking the game. I'm picking the game. I'm John. I'm picking the game.
Might be.
It's my ball.
But it'll be fun.
Well, it'll be fun until you enter into John Ryan mode and they were like, we're playing by my rules now.
I don't know.
Then it'd be like,
Ask Vinny.
then I have to go over and ref everything,
Vinny.
and it's just a whole nightmare. I don't want to.
I've been through it all. I had to throw all those people away. You know.
I know. Cashew.
I was like the funniest guy in town. You know, everybody wanted to be around me. Let's call up John on Friday, see what they're doing.
Let's go see what John Ryan the Clown's up to on Friday night. You know, see.
Remember we had answering machines on Friday, and you're like, you go home and you see the number, how many messages.
Yeah. You had 0?
It was exhausting.
It was exhausting to see 0. Cashew, John is right. You just have to do your thing when you do it. I moderate at this time on Tuesdays, and it just happens that Jay and John are also here at this time on Tuesdays. And it's true. And it just goes to show that people with the right, not the right, but the same vibe, energy, spirit, they find each other. And they stick together. They don't need a contract to do that. And they generally don't have the expectations of needing something like that. They're just, the contract is I'm enjoying this, enjoying you. And as long as I'm doing that, you just keep doing that. And John and I really enjoy each other. I think the hardest thing is that we could have easily hung on because we do enjoy so much what we're doing, but it would have come
and streaming.
It would have come at a detriment to growth as a channel for both of us, honestly.
There's also the fear of me not living up to my word too, like, because I know how easy streaming is. I know how much I like it. And then I know that I need to make videos, and I know that it's harder for me. And so, you know, I have to make sure I live up to the expectations that I'm setting for myself. So I'll be kicking my butt to make sure that I need to do what I need to do, because unfortunately, you know, it's hard to grow with just being a live streamer and spending 80% of the time doing live streams and not people finding you as easy as if you have a video on a topic. And so,
I mean, there are live streams with certain topics. This is the thing about YouTube is everybody, you know, there are no absolutes. There are some communities, there are some subjects and topics that play differently in the different realms. So there are some live streamers who just do live streaming, and those communities build up really fast. That's just the way it works. Some people that do reactionary videos or certain types of subjects that just seem to grab a huge amount of interest out there, but yet they're still small enough that they kind of know each other. I've seen them. They grow really big. And so it can happen. In a lot of what we're talking about is just the typical channel. In this case, us, what we're trying to do. It's a tough balance. I've thought about it. The truth of it is, if you really break down a lot of this, I don't know. What do you think, John? How many of the subs from you got through video recorded videos are coming to live streams, and how many people who were gotten through the live streams are actually going to the recorded videos and dropping views? I would say it's really not. I say they're almost different worlds or different demographics at this point.
It was different worlds, and plus, it was when I started live streaming by myself. It was a lot of people who watched my videos because that's what I did first. So they would jump on and they say, you know, I sub to you because I watched your video on this or your video on that. And now that it's been mostly just live streaming, and I've been making mostly live streaming connections, well, it's great because I feel like a good portion of the live streaming community got to find out who Coffee Talk and Tech is, and live streaming is important to me. But also the way that the algorithm works and the videos are found on YouTube, it is important, and really part of what has to happen is I have to have videos up that are monetized. I have to be able to see what I can do about getting the views that I want to achieve, bettering myself with thumbnails and topics and just being in front of the camera, all the things that make you a better, well-rounded YouTuber as I move forward. The things we talk about. So,
you know, and it'll be an interesting exercise too. Granted, you know, in this case, I'm doing the hosting, and there's always that little extra added zip to that, which is fine. But I think it allows us to really pack up, you know, the time that we have with people into different subjects, even maybe better over time. We might on Tuesdays have a little more dense variety of things because it's built up a little bit more as opposed to every other day having to, at least for now, you know what I mean? And I don't know. And that's not the goal, but it could be a fallout that happens. We'll see what happens. But either way, we're going to have a lot of fun. And there's actually just a lot of good stuff that's going to happen. And I think people will see how much we grow from just making this decision. Well, it's good to know. Cashew's going to try to keep moderating. I don't want the government to be able to track me by having a cell phone, Jim says. Okay. So you don't have a cell phone? I must have missed that. Okay. I mean, it is harder to track people without a cell phone, but because it's a physical thing that can actually track. So I suppose that's true. Are you doing something wrong, Jim? Jim, you running a meth lab? You doing what's going on over? You doing a little Breaking Bad? I hear you. I have people in my. I know that's true. I have people in my family who are like, I don't need any of that in my life. I got to get off of Facebook.
Come on, Ken. Yeah, not streaming on Thursdays anymore. But that doesn't mean that I won't stream on a Thursday also.
No,
so
I don't mean that.
That just means that Jeff and I aren't streaming on Thursdays. But it doesn't mean that a couple weeks from now, if I decide to stream on a Thursday, that I won't stream on a Thursday.
Yeah, you might pop up.
So it's just, it could be Friday too. It could be, but I will put up, like, if there's something I want to do, and say I want to do a coffee talk on Saturday morning about a particular topic, I'll put the thumbnail up and I'll let you guys know ahead of time. But I also will do some just pop-up live streams, where I come in at different times. I just think it's part of the beauty of YouTube is sometimes just streaming at different times and people showing up in different parts of the world and making those types of connections with people outside your normal realm. And so that's going to be one effort of doing these different time frame things. And also I want to get back to this, like some of the cool, just like off the cuff kind of stuff where if I say on Friday, like, hey, yo, Jeff, you want to stream Saturday morning, or you want to jump on a stream and just bull on Sunday? It was just fun to do that. And it wasn't like,
there's a lot that can be gained from not having to plan. And when you are jumping on to jump on, the creativity that comes from that can really be beneficial too. And I think that's another thing we're talking about. We're spending so much time twice a week trying to build content that sometimes we're losing that little bit of, you need time to be creative. You need to let the brain do things and have those moments. I want to stop and say, hello, Red Dirt Picker. How you doing? Thank you for stopping in.
Red Dirt Picker, how you doing?
Hello to the fellas and welcome. And, drop a little note about yourself.
I'm guessing Arizona, right? Red dirt.
I'm guessing
maybe?
with the red dirt. I mean, it could be. There's a lot of red clay dirt.
Arizona,
when I grew up in
Mexico.
Mississippi's got a lot of clay dirt. That southern red dirt. It was awful dirt. It was hard dirt. I played baseball and was always like tearing pants up and things. But tell us a little bit about yourselves if you want. And, when the stream's over, if you are looking for subs, and you may have 1,000, 15,000 subs. I have no idea. So, I'm not trying to insult you. When we're done, drop a link in the comments and let us know what's going on. Oklahoma
in the house.
Well, we were close.
Nice
That's a different type. That's a different type of South, though. And I am on live chat for Cashew.
I think it's just part of realizing that having different times to come in is going to expand the growth through the live streaming, right? And then the other thing is that I like to make the human connections with the people that come in. I mean, all these people that we've met some fashion and in live streaming, and we've made some like incredible connections with you guys. And so I don't want to just like have that disappear either, because I want to see how you guys are doing. I want to check things out. And also there's other people that don't get to see us because we're always streaming later at night. Right. And so I want to open that up a little bit for some of those people.
Move it around in some time frames.
Yeah, move it around.
And all truth.
And then I got to get,
what do you got to get?
I want to get the energy and the excitement for myself to realize that I got to make videos. I got to get better at it. I got to get more fluid in front of the camera. I got to get better at editing. I got to get better at so many of the things that there are, because how many people do you know that have been streaming for 8 months, 9 months, where our streaming is as healthy as it is? I mean, we're using a lot of the top-notch stuff. We're doing a great job with learning what we need to learn so many things we've worked on, Jeff.
Right.
It's been off the hook.
Oh, it's insane.
And so it's like, yeah,
it's insane.
At this point,
And there's so many positives, and
yeah.
there are no negatives in any of this, which was a beautiful thing. Like we sat around, we were talking about it the other day, and I'm like, you realize there's no, like we hit all of our marks. We met the greatest people.
Thanks,
we learned
Ken.
so much. And then now we're moving forward. And the truth of it is, you're not going to see less of John. In a way, you're going to see more of them. It's just going to be in a different structure. It's just not doing Thursday night allows for more mobility, and I think that that's healthy for you and I. But we love that we're keeping the Tuesday night for John and I, and to have our talk and our sit down and do our thing and answer you guys' questions and to check in with your lives. Yeah, well, a couple wild and crazy guys. Yeah, it is thrilling when he jumps on. It's like a trapeze artist. Just wild and crazy guys. We're aging ourselves with these SNL references, but
you have to move it.
What? Oh, yeah. I know you'll support either way, Ken. You always do, and I love that. We got to move it. Yes, you got it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. I don't know. So I'm looking forward to it. There'll be some other information that we'll be dropping as we go, but this is just something we wanted to put out there so people know, and in case they show up on Thursday. What's going on?
So me getting sick just kind of fell into me missing a couple Thursdays, and then it just led me into thinking more about. I kind of let go of this streak after months and months. I was like, it made it a little bit easier just to say, you know what? Yeah, my streak was over. I'm like, oh, you know what? This kind of fits into
you
I
totally
guess what
did.
I wanted to do.
Oh, Brian, you're on our hot dial. Don't even worry about it. I'm sure you'll be I have some thoughts for you, and I know John does as well, and other people, because the truth of it is, I think, as I just circle back on a comment made earlier, the one reason I have no regrets about not flushing out my actual video channel is because I think I'm better off now because of the people I met. And Brian, you're always one of them I bring up, because I had such a lack of knowledge on film editing and camera, and you were so kind and patient behind the scenes for so long, and people have no idea how many hours you put in. And so it's not just Brian, but there's a lot of people like that here. And that to me just pushed me way faster and further than I would have been on my own devices. And then I'm a person, John's not, but I'm a person who really likes to have a semblance of people around me that I can relate to in the struggle. I guess from a musician standpoint, I've always dealt with that. Hey, everybody's banding up together and we're going out, and you may not like each other all the time, but it's nice to have that band of brothers and sisters. So, whatever our motivations are, but I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I've got videos I'm running to make. I have live stream things I want to do. And I want to take what we've done and go forward. And you and I will be doing many things as we go, but just not Thursday night.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I think I was kind of talking to him and saying, I see like Dean Nimmin and Daniel Battelle, right, who are two pretty big YouTubers,
right?
And they'll get together and they'll do their streams together and have some fun doing it. And that's like, I was like, I always feel like Jeff and I would always be like that down the road, even if it happened another, I don't know, 6 months, a year down the road where we weren't streaming on Tuesdays. I think that we'd always come back and make a connection.
We would always do it,
right, with some of the stuff like this.
It's just, I'd always work my way back to that with you, because that's cool.
Except we'd make it more fun. I think as we got bigger, I think we'd take on new challenges, and it could be more fun.
Well, we would take on more challenges, and having, if we grow our channels the way we want with the value system that we want, let's take the people that are here tonight. Right. If each of us had 10,000 of these type of people, we'd be rich beyond belief. I'm not talking about money. Could you imagine taking even 3,000 of these type of people that are in our chat right now, each, for example, and having a meet up one time and later in the year? It would be, and then our content has grown. That would be very fun for us, and I think we would translate into something very fun and entertaining and productive for other people as well. So, that's exactly.
I agree.
Been missing. Rodrigo says I've been missing a lot in the community since power goes out often here from September to April. Wow. Okay, that's not fun. So you can't even predict that. No. You really have blanket shots of random electrical grid power failure. That's terrible. I don't know what to say about that. Cam, man, that's I know that was to Brian, but It means a lot. Thank you so much. You are as well for us.
Yeah, guys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Here we go.
Brian's has been a great support. Ken, since we
Mm-hmm.
met Ken, he's been a great support. And, you know, someone I feel like I can always give a call is to Brian or Ken or Jeff, you know, and talk about things. And then I don't really say this a lot, but then every now and then, you know, Cashew will drop me an email and just say, you know, some positive, inspiring things. And
Doesn't it matter? Doesn't
it's
it
always
have
helpful.
Isn't
Yeah.
that effect crazy? I've been trying to do a little bit more too with people as I look around and you just sense things like people working hard, or maybe you just see something because you know them. You're like, man, maybe they need a little nudge. And it can rock people's worlds to get a note to think, I'm not out here by myself, that somebody actually cared enough to drop me, hey man, I'm with you, you're doing great, keep punching, you're doing, you know, just you're doing good, keep moving what you're doing, keep up the good work. It does matter. Like
I think that's
not small things.
I think that's part of the reason why people realize that my authenticity, you know, like I don't go and tell anyone, but it's like I think you've all noticed that I've dropped in on a stream that you've been doing and dropped a note or a video, or I might have even just messaged you on Instagram if I haven't heard from you for a long time, just to make sure everything's okay. But like all those types of things that I've been doing to just be supportive to the people that I invest in, because you know, to me it's like we're all a team, man. We all meet up here, we all discuss things. We make friendships here. We know what maybe some of our health issues are, our family issues, our struggles are, our goals. Right, we talk about our goals.
Talk about our goals.
You see me wear llama pajamas.
That's what Darlene wants to.
People
you know.
not, right. We've seen us not feeling well.
Darlene, he did wear his pajamas though. He did wear.
Yeah, I did.
He did wear them.
Oh no, I wore them. Yeah.
He was sweating like a madman, because apparently
it was hot. They were hot.
If I remember correctly, you stripped down about an hour in. You were like, okay, I'm done with that.
Oh, I had to. They were so hot. I didn't strip down. I just took them off.
I know, but I got to be dramatic. Shay, how you doing? Good to see you. Howdy.
Hi, Anfisa.
Howdy. How you holding up from your time with Tracy? Have you sought therapy? Have things turned around for you? Have you got a restraining order? Just let us know how that all went. Yeah, thank you all for hitting the like. I really appreciate it. I want to jump here because I saw Visa. Long time no see.
She's out in Alaska there.
She is. She's out there doing her thing. Look at that. I'm assuming that's where she lives, and it's quite remote, as I understand. I think she has to, you know, in Star Wars where they kill the thing and they live inside it in the winter, you know, like trying to save Luke. It's that
right.
Baton or whatever. I feel like that's what
they
have to
got
do
it and stay inside.
I feel like in Alaskan winter, when they go to the mailbox, they have to slice a moose open like halfway there just to warm up, get inside it. My mind maybe needs work. It's great to see you, Enfys. Thank you for stopping and saying hi, and I hope everything's going well up in your way. And I imagine it's balmy. Although I don't really know how cold.
Oh, Tommy needs help. He's
what's going on?
Something's going on with his stream.
Oh, that's why they're walking in here. Okay, because I was like, what?
Over.
Why are they jumping over? And now we know why. Tommy's got a problem.
Tommy needs help. Don't let Tommy see this. He's not going to like that.
Tommy needs help. He doesn't know how to stream apparently. Oh, yeah. I'm not putting that up, but I'm reading it. Hey, look, he busts my chops pretty good. So
he does bust you.
However, as a streamer, I know how stressful that is. Like we know, and Tommy's probably like, I don't care. But inside he cares. You died just a little bit.
No, I think he cares. He's
a prideful dude. And so I wouldn't want to at all poke that situation. I will maybe tomorrow. I may find him on Instagram and DM him and say, what's wrong with you? But tonight we're just going to send him love and support because Tommy has been, I say it all the time, but Tommy has been extremely kind to us and other channels our size, and you didn't have to. And I tell him all the time, if I get bigger and I can do the same thing you do, I'm excited to take that on. Dan Beard's another one who's done so much of that, Ken C, and on and on. And so it really does matter to me.
Right.
Well, you know, I like this. I mean, look, There's two ways to look at this, Jen. You weren't here.
We jumped ship.
And then the ship over there went down. And then I feel like you found the floating door by the Titanic. You pushed Leo DiCaprio aside. You got the chick off of it. You jumped on and you're like, I'm going to this boat over here. We always wanted to be by the little tugboat. No, you didn't. You were on the Titanic and it sank. And then you came over here and then you're like, we meant to be here anyway. Can we please come into your little boat? That's what happened. But I'm glad you're here nonetheless.
See, yeah, because I just watched him. He came back up about a couple minutes ago.
Oh, we'll lose everybody.
Now there was no one watching, and now there's 20 people watching. So they're making their way back.
They'll make their way back, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Jeff hit his highest concurrent in ever," something like that. No, you guys are great. I appreciate it, and thanks for. You know what? Look,
Purgatory Paranormal. How you doing?
I'll catch you. The truth of it is, you could have gone a billion places when the Titanic went down, and you chose our little yacht. So thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Oh, he's stressing out for sure. Oh, crap. I hope not, man. I hate that. You know what? I had a lovely comment and conversation quickly on a comment on a live we did.
Okay.
Not that long ago. It was the one I did, if you all remember, on when I did the plugin to get StreamYard dark mode. And
oh, yeah.
Purgatory here dropped a really nice comment saying, thank you, because my eyeballs were screaming, essentially, and she was looking for a way to deal with that. And I was like, I feel you. I was looking forever, as was Tommy, and I was so glad to be able to do it that night.
Cool.
And I'm glad you found it. Let me know that it worked for you, and I'm assuming it did in the end. Let me know. Let's appreciate that. And
what part of New York is she from?
I don't know that. Let us know. And
New York's so big, so it's like sometimes you're just like, are you from Long Island, Manhattan, right? Are you from upstate New York? And the funny thing is when people say upstate, they're like Orange County. And I don't know if you guys realize this, but Orange County is like right over the border of New Jersey into New York.
It's like,
and it's like you can literally drive another 5 hours. Yeah,
and I want to just say, if anybody knows me, I'm a huge paranormal fan of everything. Like, I will watch every show and anything I see on paranormal. I just am so. Are you a paranormal investigator? I'm assuming you are. And if you are, is there a way? I mean, I'll find your channel, of course, but is there anything you do? Do you actually go to places and do that? And there's other ways to see? I don't know. I just love that. So just keep me in a loop. Big fan of that stuff.
She says she's just north of New York City, originally from the Bronx. Okay, so
awesome.
I'm from Jersey, so that's why I'm saying I work in Newark actually, and I'm very familiar with the Bronx and very familiar with Manhattan.
I love this. It meant so much to her that I downloaded it and then I streamed last night and then I forgot to turn it on. That happens. There are 1.5 million things to think of, and then you forget to turn those on. I found another extension I should get into. It's called Extensely. And it's a great, great way to manage different profiles of your extensions that you use, so you can offload them or turn them on and off, or all of them or parts of them, really fast, because Chrome and those extensions just eat up resources. Someday we should probably get into that. Nick H, how you doing? What's up? Wasting those peas.
What's up, Nick?
What's up? How you doing? They're back. Yeah, I heard they're back, MD. Tell Tommy we said hi. Tell him thanks for sending people over, which he didn't send them. But thank you for everybody that dropped in here to say hi, because just saying hi really made our day. And I love the energy. And
we always like when people come and say hi.
Especially because it's Tommy's group, and we love that group, and we love Tommy and Tracy. And it's fun because it feels like a neighbor. So, it's weirdly odd. It feels like this weird neighbor. Yep, go for it.
I'm going to let Nick know, because he just rolled in, is that we're not going to be streaming together on Thursdays anymore. So check us out on Tuesdays here on Jeff's channel. That's going to be a common place where we'll be coming together on Tuesdays, just like we've been for the last 8-9 months.
Yes.
So don't forget us here on Tuesdays. I think it's going to really bring some good energy for everything.
Yes.
I'm really excited, and I just want to shake this fatigue that I have right now from being under the weather, and I can't wait until that happens. And I will be ready to gun ho to go.
Yes, and I think by you having that energy to do things you need to do, that you want to do to push your channel, you'll walk into Tuesday nights full of energy, full ready to go, and you'll find some vibrance in that too, because there is a little bit of that, where you get that energy for that. You have to, don't keep
Yeah, we get this.
Don't keep up with the Chinese water torture. If you don't let yourself drip, to death. Make some changes. Don't always have to be grand changes. This is not a big grand change. It's just a little shift. But everybody find us on Tuesdays. We'll be here, and we'll pack it up and have a good time for sure. Darlene. Okay, so Darlene, not only do you live near me, but you're also a paranormal fan as well. Cool. Love it. I believe in the paranormal, says Jim. I think we're trying to wake up from a long sleep. Yeah. True. I feel like that, right?
That's how I felt for like that for the last week.
God,
that's
it feels
sure.
like that. Everybody that I've known that has struggled with COVID said the same thing. The tiredness is probably the biggest butt whip. In the end
well, right now I don't know, because a lot of people haven't followed a lot, but the Northeast in New York, New Jersey, have been getting slammed, and now we're probably going to see a huge the brakes are going to be put on, and the numbers are going to probably drop like a rock here, and then other places will be picking up. But it's been a real struggle around here lately. Things have gotten quiet. Like I was in New York City today, and it was just. It was a little bit quieter than it's been for a while. So
3 to 5 weeks, they say, and then it should be well on the downside. And that's good. That's how you end.
Well, it's going to happen here this week, or it's already happened this week here alone.
Okay.
And then next week it's going to drop a ton in this area.
Okay.
And then there'll be other parts though of the
makes
country
sense considering
that will
how popular
up.
that area is. Of course, you always get slammed a little bit harder. Sammy, how are you doing, Sammy?
Hey, Sammy.
I caught a little of your stream on about the Waves, the new software, the streaming software. It looked very interesting. Check that out if you haven't seen that. Looks pretty interesting. I think they've got something going on there. It's a good company. So
I agree.
Have you seen what they're doing with that?
I saw it a while ago because I was talking to Chad for a bit, and then because I'm Facebook friends with him, and then and then I saw the stream, but I was already onto it because I was talking to Chad about it last week a little bit. I've
seen it a couple things, but then I saw Sammy was doing a little roundup on that, so that was kind of cool with the rep, and very cool. So do you each have other channels? The fact is, this is my channel, and what was happening for the last 8 months, twice a week without fail. I would do on Tuesdays mine, and then on John's channel, Coffee Talk and Tech. If you need tech, please subscribe. But we would do that on Thursdays on John's channel. And we're going to continue doing it here on Tuesday nights. And I would love to have all of you, as well as John, to come in and play with us and get informed and have fun. But, John's going to take that gap, that moment, as I am, to start to do more recorded videos and to do a little more pop-up streams at different parts of the day to try to reach out and find, new people, new things to bring into Tuesday nights and our other streams. So I like that. So.
I mean, we come April, I started streaming on a regular basis, and then May, Jeff started streaming on a regular basis. And then we take in like people that didn't know anything about streaming, not much about YouTube, and really just developed where we are right now with streaming. And we definitely have strong opinions on how to succeed on YouTube. And it's just from learning from the people that understand how to be successful. So it's gotten me across the finish line in 15 months to be monetized, and to be monetized, right. I mean, different people do it different ways, but I didn't use anybody's, ski poles to get there. Like I basically did it on my own without bouncing off of any, popular stuff or anything that, like you see a lot of people use, which is, important celebrities, or I shouldn't say important, but popular. And then you could just do a lot of stuff based off of, that kind of content. And it really can make people grow fast. But this was just about two people, Jeff and myself, having an idea of we want to start YouTube channels and see where we can go with live streaming from two people that basically just figured this stuff out. And I think we pretty much in the last 8 months knocked the ball out of the park, I believe.
Yeah, we hit our targets when we set back in May, and that's nice. Sammy, thank you. Backgrounds are in play, and I'm trying to get my other sets up. I have some ideas. I'm really excited for it. And again, you need time to do those things, and this will hopefully allow a little bit for doing other things as we get moving. But it's always nice to hear that. And yeah, I mean, Sammy, it is true. I mean, again, the Tuesdays will stay the same, but yeah, there's a thing about the nighttime streams, but at some point too, I think you need to poke around in different time zones if you want to grow in this manner. But also John wants to have time to, and as I do, to start to get into a little bit more of a rut and get these videos kind of going. As we all know, we have to make, it's a balance. I know a lot of people, John, we have this discussion, the idea of, should you really just be a full-time streamer and try to just go all in on that? Or should you do recorded videos and go all on that? Because if you straddle the line
depends
too
what
much,
your goal is.
It depends on what your goal is. But I mean, as someone who's not reached a goal yet, it does pull you. I mean, on some levels, depending. Like there's a balance point.
Yeah,
it's hard to be good at both and move in a direction. It's hard to find where both are moving at the direction at the same time. And then you're not really sure sometimes what may be the best collection of progress. I guess I'm trying to figure out how to say it.
So Purgatory Paranormal, she's saying, I do understand that growing organically, right? And we overuse that. We overuse that word, right? Growing organically, because we just want to grow. I mean, the bottom line is we want to grow. But the thing is, the more that you make it, you're putting out your content, doing and following your heart and soul in growth factors, then the return is going to be the majority of what you put out. And so I think that, I don't think people have any goals in the beginning. And the thing is, then they just started streaming. Okay, let me just stream because I want to talk about my topic. And then maybe down the road, now they got 100 people watching. And now they're like, I didn't even know this could be like a serious income. It didn't even cross my mind. I just wanted to talk to people about gardening, whatever it may be.
The next thing you know,
and then you're like,
you find out so many other people like to talk about gardening, and you've got
which is fantastic because you follow what you enjoy, and then that's how you get the happiness out of it and the journey and then the growth. And then, but the thing is, then you realize, okay, well, now I have to set goals in motion if you want to be monetized and make money. But some people don't think about those things. But I think that more and more people should at this point, because if you're putting the time in and the investments, why don't you want to get monetized then? And then when you get monetized, then you can put out better content and you can strive for, higher goals, and you're making some cash off it. And
I guess my question to Purgatory would be, what are you doing now? Like, do you have a focus on your channel of streaming or recorded videos? Are you doing both? Or I guess I'd love to know. I don't know what your stage you're in yet, but I'd love to know where you're at with that. And I want to say hi to Stuart. Don't poke the bear.
Hey, Stuart.
And of course, Arkansas was like, I want to poke the hell out of it. Don't even worry about it.
I just think it's,
Jim says,
I just think like,
Tella, what's it saying? Tella. Are a lot of channels being viewed by a lot of people because of their content that have room for improvement? Tella, I'm losing track of what that might be. Fix that word, or maybe I don't know what you mean by that word, Tella.
I think what he's trying to say is like, so you realize, okay, I can get monetized, or I got people following me, or there's a good amount of people paying attention to what I'm doing. Now I want to improve, and so
I mean, I get that, I just didn't understand the word. I mean, being viewed by a lot of people because of their content that have room for improvement. Yeah, I think people want to see people grow. I just think there's a natural thing. If they like the person, if they like the topic, there's a joy out of seeing people grow, and it's really good. And something I'm trying to think through right now with my music. And I do take lessons. I had to stop them for a while, and music's been a little weird for a couple of years. But I was thinking about starting up my lessons again. I have some drum coaches in LA, and we do lessons. So I was thinking about doing that and doing a thing like that and following that improvement. Although it's a little bit humbling to show people how much you suck, but that's why you practice. That's the old adage: if you're not sucking while you practice, you're not practicing. So you could do things like that, but then you could do it with anything. I mean, you're right. Whether it's gardening or it's even tech or some website you're building, like everybody likes to see that growth. And I think the reason they do is they want to associate with the fact that we all kind of have these struggles. Nobody just was born understanding all of it. So that makes them accessible. And also they want to see and champion those people to succeed. So, when you find that, it's a lot of fun to do, especially if you enjoy their stuff. Jim's teletype made a typo. Oh my God.
So
Okay.
I think her response saying that she grew over 3 years is really key there, because we constantly always, Jeff and I are always talking about how people they rush the whole journey, right? And so they just want to get monetized, and so they jump on live stream, tell everyone to watch, get the hours, and there's a lot you miss out along the way with all those factors. Learning how to use a camera, learning how to set things up, having the time to grow, working on your banners, working on customizing your channel to have it set up properly. There's just so many things to being a YouTuber that if you just don't take it in, you think you're going to get to the finish line faster. It doesn't really work like that. Yeah,
No,
you'll
it
get
does not.
monetized faster, but then you have to kind of like slow down and learn all these things, because without them, you will not grow at the same pace. So if you just out there and enjoying the whole journey and slowly taking it in, it's almost like things really happen for usually in a systematic, better way. I believe.
Well, I mean, there's
Within
truth
reason.
about the turtle and the hare. I mean, there's a lot of truth to that, and you just absorb things better. You make better decisions, or you follow through better on some things, and don't leave a lot of things hanging. I mean, or there's a lot of truth to it. I think we all would agree that that's always better, but that's not what all people do. They do try to hack their way up or rush too much, and even not enjoy. I guess with Purgatory, I'd be curious too, like, is tech your thing? Are you shocked with the amount of tech in what you're doing with just paranormal research? Because there's a lot of tech in there, with cameras and sensors and recording at things. And, I don't know, maybe you don't go high tech. I don't know, because I don't know to the depth you're doing it, but you obviously are very interested in it. And now you're getting into tech with your streaming, clearly. And I'll jump on your channel and check it out, because the subject matter I actually like a lot. I'd be curious. I'm always interested to find out from people, where they're at in that threshold with tech. And maybe you don't even like it, but you have to deal with it. And there's sometimes that happens as well. That's okay. We're going to end here shortly, but I wanted to just finish out our chat here, get it caught up, have some final moments, and say goodnight to everybody before we head out. But hey, Patrick, what are you doing around? I figured you'd be doing some business. I'm still blown away whenever someone subscribes to my channel. Every subscriber gives me more energy. That's so true. I had a thing happen. I told John, and I don't know, I've started laughing at myself a little bit, but I did my first video, the Go XLR video, and I put it out there, and it got some views. It's fine. It's whatever it is. But you don't think about it too much, because I didn't really think about it. I knew I didn't have a subscriber from me yet, and that's fine. But the biggest thing was somebody wrote me that I'd never met, that wasn't through any means that I knew, and dropped that positive comment. And I thought, wow. Yeah. Okay. So that's what people that's where they get the dopamine here, because, and the subs as well. And I can see why. It's not, I want it, but I've never experienced it. And then I'm like, wow, that is so fun to have that engagement with somebody who really found value. Same with Purgatory Paranormal of New York. That was a stream we did a while ago, and to find somebody go, that was useful. I found value on that. Even now I'm like, God, that's so great, and then, here they are talking and letting us know what's going on. I just love that. Quick random questions, y'all. What's happening? Yeah. Oh, quick random questions. Yeah, you're right, Stuart. That's what you do when someone says, we're going to wrap up, and you're like, we've got 50 random questions to drop on you right now before you guys. Stuart's probably seen it all, man. It's like, Secondhand Rose, how you doing? Oh my God, it's great to see you. Thank you for dropping in. I hope you're doing well.
Oh, nice to see her. Yeah.
Love the dog. That's a different dog pick. I love it. Hello guys. I'm a turtle or a snail or haha.
That's all right.
That's perfect.
See, I
There's nothing
appreciate,
wrong
I
with that.
can, yeah, it is perfect,
It's perfect.
and I just think that while you're doing it, whatever you're doing, just enjoy it, the pace that you're at, and enjoy that journey, because the connections you make with the people
I
along the
love that,
way
darling.
are
Thank you.
the best things that I have gained out of YouTube.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
no doubt about it. And being monetized is not an end line. It's a beginning. It's a whole nother beginning of a long
Oh,
process
we
of
talked about that.
learning how to, yeah,
When you
to up
grind, when
your
you really do
game.
the grind, when you do the organic, authentic approach to getting monetized, and I saw you do it, and I saw the crawling over that finish line, and I don't mean that, I just mean that it was hard, and we talked about it. That target now is gone. That preset target by YouTube that is very reachable with good work, but it's also very specific. All right, it's very contained. And then when that target now is gone, they're like, okay, kids, the whole world is up to you now. We're not going to sit here and babysit you. What you do from here, we're not setting those targets. You got to decide where you're taking your channel. We did what we could do. If you followed what we were doing here in the recipe and did it organically, more than likely you found what you're good at, what you're bad at, where your channel is doing well at, that trended, all that. So now we've given you enough of that. Get out of the diapers.
Yeah, because at that
Go take your
point,
channel.
you should have about 60,000 views. You should have, your 1,000 subscribers, your 4,000 hours of watch time, and you should have approximately 100 videos. So you've learned the process to a certain extent, but everybody falls into the process a different way, and live streaming isn't for everybody, and it is for other people. And it's something that I will always do because I really love live streaming. I love making the connections with the real people.
The connections with real people.
So,
and that's been the biggest joy out of this, because I think if I hadn't done this early on, I need a little connection, although I'm an introvert. By heart, I still need connection on some level. And this was definitely a better path for me.
Right.
But there is still, for some people, no. But there is still a lot of people who wake up and go, God, I got passed through monetization, and now what am I doing now? Like, I don't have to wake. It's like not having a job where like, come here, get in the cubicle, do your work, widget. Now it's like, well, it's up to you, man. Build whatever you want. And did you find that? I mean, were you like, oh, this is cool, but okay, it's different. Did it hit you that way?
See, the thing is, I didn't know. I'm kind of like Arkansas living, and I don't know everybody's channel to to a T, but there's certain people that I watch and I can get a vibe. And
you do,
and the thing is, like he's saying, I don't have any goals, but the thing is, you may have a goal, right? Because certain people's personalities, authenticity, somewhat different, this vibe, whatever it may be that attracts people, it may set off signals to a vast majority of people that you never intended on the platform. And then you have capabilities of having an income off of this, right? And so you don't want to just turn your back on that. You don't want to turn your back on the potential for a greater amount of people to listen to you. And yeah, there's a greater amount of responsibility. And yeah, there'll be more of an open forum for people to actually, criticize you. Okay. But all those things could really just take you far, and it can change your life. And so I always feel like take a look at it, but don't shy away from it. And if there's any interest in what you want to achieve, sometimes reevaluate. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, don't just don't stay the course all the time. Take a look at it seriously. And some people they feel like, oh, once I look at it from a standpoint of making money, I feel like it's just like nothing that I want it to be. But it can be anything that you want it to be, as long as you stay true to yourself.
It doesn't have to be about money.
So
you could just totally put the money thing aside.
With you, monetization might not give you much money anyway, but it could give you something. It's really only a little bit at a time.
You remember when you were younger and you're like, we're going to put $5 in a treasury bill for you. And so when you're, that's kind of what there's like it barely gives you, it just gives you the opportunity to open up a T-bill for your college
Yeah,
days, but
but you know what?
it's a long haul, man.
He's a guy that does live streams too. And
Yeah.
so if people really like what he's talking about and want to support him, then he has the option to get people to give him super chats. And then, in one sitting, you could make a couple $100, right? And to be honest with you,
It's
you never
there.
know who
Yeah.
that person is that
A
might be
lot of people,
influential and
a lot
make
of people were
connections.
like, I got on, like you said, a lot of people were like, I got on live streaming and I didn't really think about super chats or this, and they fell into finally monetization and all. Next thing you know, they're like, I'm pulling a couple dollars. Maybe I'm not going to buy a mansion, but they didn't even realize they could make $100 in a night, for example. And that's a beautiful thing, And so, it's good to see. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
Secondhand Rose said that she had a bad storm and everything. And that's really cool because I was actually thinking about her because I haven't seen her for a while,
Yeah.
and she did cross my head because I always think about some people that haven't been around for a while, and I always wonder how they're doing. So
It's really hard. It
was interesting.
Rodrigo said the same thing. It's just inconsistent for him from September to April. And, I always think I'm so lucky. I've had really good luck with my internet since I kicked out a couple problems that you and I finally figured out what was
Yes.
happening. And it's been great. But I often think, God, there's so many people who don't have that solid connection all the time. And that's just something I haven't
Yeah.
had to worry about. And if that was another thing that I had to worry about, especially for consistent streams, that would really gnaw at me a little bit. I think it would kind of dismay me a little
yeah.
bit. So I hope
Yeah,
I hope that gets
the
better for
struggle's
you.
real.
It's a real struggle, and not everybody has that. Some people just live in areas where it's very dicey. They're still paying the money; it's just still dicey. Yeah, I agree. Arkansas, your outlet has been a blessing. So, yeah, and everybody loves that hat. How can you not love that hat?
And that's what I want to try to say. I've watched a few of his videos, and I feel like he resonates with people. And so, you just don't know where things can be. Like, when you keep on having people tell you the same thing over and over through your life, it took me about 30 years to realize that you should act upon some of those things. When people say you're good at something, there's a reason why they're saying it. So don't shun it sometimes, and take a look at yourself, from the inside out, and then realize that it could be a blessing, and whatever you have to tell people, it could be a great thing. So it could change people's lives sometimes. You never know. So I always say, give it a shot.
I don't know. Have you had any? I've not had any exposure to this ASUS external disk writer.
Gosh,
So I can't really speak to specs.
I believe those. You're talking about a 16 times disk writer. I mean, I've an external one I haven't used, but all those disk writers I've used years ago. Right now, I do everything SD. I have an external though, just in case, but I barely.
Yeah, I've
use
got
them
the.
anymore.
What do you have the same one I have? The SanDisk, Elite, or whatever they want to call it. the
You're talking
external
about
disk.
the flash drives?
Oh no, I'm talking about an actual.
I forget what external I
SSD.
got right now.
Okay. The Extreme. It's the,
but I
it's
have
the
like
SanDisk
a,
Extreme. Boy, they fast. Oh
but
my
that's
God.
an external disk.
It's a writer.
drive,
I get it.
and
Yeah.
so-
I haven't. It's so
Yeah.
funny. I haven't used.
Yeah, Asus is good stuff though. Asus is nothing wrong.
They were
with
the
it. It's
kind
good-
of
it's
they were kind of the main deal at the time.
fine stuff.
I just haven't used
Yeah.
a writer in so long, and I don't know that I would need to. It's
No, I
interesting.
have one though. I do have one,
Do you?
but
Is
just
it-
nowadays, I can't it sits in my drawer. I think I've maybe used it once in the last 4 years, external
Mhm.
writer, because everything is really nowadays is a flash drive. If you got a flash drive that's 128 gigs, 99 out of a million times, or 99,000 out of 100,000. That's
What? I've
plenty
just
of them,
a
so.
TH2. What are you using that for? Can I ask what you're using it for? It's just interesting that I'm sorry. I don't mean to be
Maybe
nosy.
they just want to use old stuff, all right?
Hey, I'm not judging, man. I just want to know.
And they're like, it's new, but
I
I'm
want
just
to. I
saying,
want to
maybe
know if
they,
there's something I'm missing out on. Like there's a new fad. Like people went back to vinyl. So I want to know if there's a trend that I'm missing out
maybe
on.
they have discs they want to use.
Okay, well that's fine, John.
Right.
And
No, I
maybe they
know a lot
love
of
their
people don't
DVD
use
player,
discs.
and they just. I haven't
That's
heard of this.
true.
I used to get so frustrated with the writers, even the good ones though. God, they would just you'd go through all this work and then it would just hiccup and I don't know. The other day I did my first pre. I know. I feel like you do like your lives better. You're like kind of like John, Sammy, and that you just like that energy. You like that unknown quantity of what might happen and the interaction with people.
But
I get that.
Your pre-recorded though it's like, I'm not saying, I am going to say it, but it's a waste. Like I don't understand the ideas of a pre-recorded video because it doesn't get the algorithm search as a standard video. It gets an algorithm search as a live.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to take the time to do a pre-recorded video, why not get it utilized to be able to get seen more? So I'm a little stumped by why people do that.
I mean, answer that, Sammy, if you can. I mean, is it just a time thing where it worked out and it's like, oh, I don't know if I can get there, but I don't want to.
Maybe you just wanted to try one, and I get that.
Maybe you want to try it, or is there editing things that had to be done, or were there like, oh, we need to make sure that things aren't said because of the company. I have to double check what's said before it goes out. There could be a lot of that too. There's a lot of brand awareness with corporation. It just depends, what's going on.
Stuart, that's exactly what I want is an M.2 external SSD. That's exactly.
You read my mind.
So this way I can, because right now my SSDs that I have are M.2 and they're, I think they're PCI, I think they're either Gen 3 or 4, but I got transfer rates of my read and write are between 3,000 and 3,300, right? So that's like pretty darn fast. And so that's what I would want to have, like a 2 terabyte external with the same read and write speed. And I would be like, that would be beautiful.
Oh, and then we want 10 terabytes.
Because 800 megabytes is usually like the norm for an SSD, a regular one. But to have 3,200 is like awesome.
Sammy, that's great because I think that's what you do, right? You try things and just say, hey, how's this going to work against something? And then I can talk about it, no matter what it does, right? And you can see how it goes. I think that's brilliant. Good for you. Some people do that.
And trying new stuff is great, but
I mean, some people do that and then they do vlogs for a while and they're like, well, how did my vlogs work out against my recorded? I'm like, okay. I mean, there are ways to do things. I mean, everybody tries that. I don't know, whatever. I mean, you got to try things, right? I don't have a problem with that. All right, my brother.
I mean, you do if you're not finding what you're looking for, then why not try new things? But once you find something that that you're intent on doing, then just stick to what you're happy doing. But if you're constantly looking for something new, though, then maybe you're just like finding the new thing, and that could be dangerous because then you never settle in on the one thing to help you get to.
You're not wrong because what could happen is it could actually skew your whole channel analytics a little bit or whatever. And then you don't realize that you're maybe dumpstering your other work with the new work as you're playing around. That can happen because YouTube will flush out their algorithm and say, well, he just did this. And now I think he's going in this direction. And does that then diminish other things that you're doing? I mean, it can happen. That's risk, so good point.
Well, I just know that many of us here have, a little attention deficit disorder here. And so it's very easy to get off in a different direction. And a lot of times we just got to make sure we stay on focus of our goals.
Yeah, you're looking for that 16x adapter to install. You're all about the speed, Stuart. Love it. But an external would be sweet if the speed is there. Yeah, I'm always looking for fast.
I mean, I was using that like 20 years ago.
It's true. It's fine.
I was using, you can just plug those right in. I mean, you can get an enclosure and run a 32 times writer and reader. That's what I was using. Maybe
Stuart just had a bay and he wanted to play around with them. Yeah, I have a bay. I have a little bay PCI slot. I'm going to run this in here.
Oh, sure. If you got, why not?
He's doing the old Sammy thing. I get you, Sammy. I mean, fine. I really like interviews and meeting content. You can meet, but you can do that with live streams, right? Not pre-recorded. You don't have to be recorded, pre-recorded to do that.
No, no. I think he just wanted to probably try. He's always up for trying something new,
I
which
know.
is cool.
I always like to I like to prod his brain and see what he's doing because he's got 10 million things going at one time. Um, that's okay, Patrick. We're out too in a second. I'm out, guys. Patrick says finishing up script for a future video. As always, great hanging with you. And it's always great having you hang with us. And
Yeah,
on that
Patrick,
note,
nice talking to you too.
it's later than I hope. And you know what? Thank you guys for joining John and I tonight and letting us talk you out, figure out what's happening on, do some copyright claim stuff, talk about where we're going on Thursday nights and all that jazz. And there'll be more information. But check back next Tuesday. We'll be here. And then, of course, John will be putting out when he does his pop-up streams beyond that and other things. Of course, you'll see John everywhere, as always, but in, different manners. But we'll see you on Tuesdays, and that'd be great. Looking forward to that. You guys are wonderful. Thank you for stepping in on Tuesday. I hope all of you are
guys,
getting past this, just getting past this Omicron variant and everything else so we can wake up from the sleeps of society. That would be kind of nice. Be nice to head into summer, a little bit different colors than we saw. I think last year we got near summer. We're like, it's going to be different. It's going to be different this year. Now we can finally open up. And then remember how it did for a minute. And then, Delta crashed the party like a bunch of drunken frat boys with no manners. And that wasn't a whole lot of fun. So
nice to meet you, Purgatory, also.
I saw that. I wanted to say the same thing. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for stopping in on the video, saying hi. Everybody is happy to meet you. I have no doubt. Jim, no, I saw it. I think he's talking about the paranormals. I actually saw that. I didn't mean to skip those, but I did see your comments on the paranormals, but I wanted to stay in the stream. But you know what? I saw those, and anytime I see a haunted house around here, I just think, if I had 3 people that I felt safe with to go stay overnight at one of these places, I would actually do it, but I might be too afraid to do it. I watch Ghost Avengers, and I get kind of chickened out. But if Purgatory tells me that she's going into like hospitals and staying overnight, I'm going to be super impressed because it's not going to happen for me. I don't think I could do it.
I know there's a facility that closed down in New Jersey here.
What was
and
it
a lot
called?
of people would do that.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Greystone. And so I'm sure she's probably heard of it because they've done shows on it and stuff.
I bet. And, Ghost Hunters and Ghost Avengers.
Some of my friends that do telecommunications would tell me that they do work there. And my personal friend was the manager, like a big time manager of the facility that I power lifted with. And the walls there are like 3 feet thick between like offices and stuff. So they literally have to take these 3-foot drills, drill through the walls to be able to run Cat 5 when they upgraded things.
It's a whole ordeal.
But it's like your cell phone doesn't barely work there.
Nope.
But a lot of the sections that get shut down, the kids would go there at night and like go through the place and everything. It's got like that history.
I just like that. I don't know. I'm a big fan of that stuff. And I was so glad that she stopped in here because I had the conversation. I'm like, oh, Purgatory Paranormal. I'm kind of interested in this.
Yeah, plus it's great in meeting new people and people that are content creators. That's great.
Absolutely. And so everybody get on their horse at some point and check out the people you haven't checked out yet. Maybe hit a nice sub if you want to support. I think that's important. Happy to do that. Purgatory. I'll do that when we're done here. Everybody, I haven't seen a ghost, but I have ghostly encounters. Everybody stay awesome and stay well. We will see you all next Tuesday. And John, do you have anything on the outro here that you want to throw? Anything you want to say?
No, I don't think so. I just think that I just want to again thank for the people that reached out to me this week and just let me know that they wanted to see how my family was doing and how we're all doing, and we're all recovering. We're and doing well, so I appreciate that. And I just want to thank everyone that always supports us because it's been the journey and it's been great. So appreciate it.
Yeah, I think so too, and I'm glad to see you rebounding. I know you're tired, and hopefully next week you're in a different space. But it's gonna take a minute, and one day you'll probably wake up and like, oh, I'm ready to go. And Stuart, I do want to see that story, so maybe next Tuesday drop it and maybe remind us about the story. I want to know about a ghost who pinched your bottom once, so that I want to hear about that. That would be a lot of fun. So I like that stuff, and especially if they're assaulting you. I don't know why. All right, brother. I appreciate it. I will see you on the other side. Everybody, thank you so much. Nothing but nice things to say. And we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace out.
Peace.